Good evening, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome back to the show. Of course, Wednesday means Kdog After Dark. So tonight on the show, we have two lovely, amazing people, one of whom is very tired but is spoiling us with their presence nonetheless. But of course, tonight we have my co-host. Of course, I am Kdog57. I don't know why I never say that, but you guys should know that since you're here and or listening on the podcast. Co-host tonight, we have the Fool Took. Everybody's familiar, of course, with Took. Took, wave and say hi to people.
Hi.
She's waving for all you people who are listening on the audio of the podcast. And then special guest tonight is the one, the only amazing new tattoos person himself, which is Unicorn Gaming up there at the top right. Hi. Wave and say hi.
Hi.
They waved also for all you guys listening. Of course, as we're getting in, thank you everybody. Welcome to the show. If you are listening podcast wise, thank you as well. I appreciate you guys tonight. A lot of interesting things to talk about. I just realized my shirt's kind of unbuttoned. I'm kind of doing a little bit of a what I don't know. I don't even know what it is. A little bit of chest hair action going on right here.
Dark.
Yeah, exactly.
But
after dark
I'm
here,
not
just a little, little. I want to say like, what was it like? I wanted to go. For some reason, I was thinking like Dennis Hopper. Right? No, Burt Reynolds. That's who I wanted to say. Like the little like Burt Reynolds like chest hair thing going on. Anyways, it's okay. We'll button it up until at least a couple more glasses of wine. News-wise this week, not a heck of a lot, but today, of course, the Ps5 event, so we'll be talking about that. Xcloud Launch as well, and then of course Twitch making their rounds as doing lovely things as Twitch always does. But as we get into it, I do always like to say, as always, my little referendum for you guys if you're not familiar with the show and you're out there. Of course, we appreciate you guys if you are new to the show. If you are chatting and we don't see it out there in the comments and that, well, a lot of us will respond by typing and things like that, but we won't cut each other off since we are kind of recording live. There is the section in the Discord as well, though, that does have the live Q&A that we'll touch back base with at the end, and then also all the videos and things like that for you for a little bit more information on in there as well. So we promise we see you, follows, hosts, all the love. We see it. We appreciate it. We really do. But if we don't acknowledge it right away, it's not because we don't love you. We'll probably type in chat or something like that. But, you know, we are trying to record live for all the other things afterwards. Now that the nice little... I should just record that. I keep saying I'm just going to, like, record that. I'm going to just record a little intro and be like, here's my little disclaimer about the show. So that way, if we don't acknowledge you right away, here you go. Listen to this. Have it as, like, a little pre-recorded button on the stream deck. As we get into it, first off, Uni. I always like to say, the way I always like to do it is like, who is Unicorn Gaming? I always just say Uni because it's easy to me, and I just always call you Uni. So I don't know if I've ever asked if that is okay. Do other people call you Uni, or is that like...
So it depends. It's all like whole... Depends on how you know me.
Okay.
If you're calling by Unicorn Gaming, it's like when you're in trouble with your mom and she calls you by your full name.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like, it's weird and you feel like you're in trouble, but usually it's just Uni.
Okay. Because some people are weird about certain names, things like that. So I was like, I've never really asked, and I just always like, I just gave you like my own designated nickname for you. But you know, figured I'd ask now while we're live and everybody's watching. But who is Unicorn Gaming? Give us your little 60-second spiel. Who are you? What do you play? You know, you got that purple little check mark over there next to you.
Wow, gotta bring the check mark into it.
I know. I think this is actually the first time since we've been on Twitch. Well, since we've been over here, I've had Twitch partners on here before, but I think this is the first time since we've migrated that. I don't know if anybody's been over on season 2. Now that I think about it, you might be the first partner this season. Like Jade and a couple others have been on it, which is funny. I think I have you this week, and I think Drake next week is also a partner. Huh. I'm curious now. I'm going to have to look at the past things to see if you're the first. So, hey, congratulations for being the first official Twitch partner on the Twitch version of the show. Yay! But yes, who is Unicorn Gaming?
An asshole. There we go.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. There's the sound bit. Clip it. We're done with the show. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Appreciate you.
It's hard to say. I just play games, and apparently people wanted to watch me.
Yeah.
I'm one of those, and I know there's always such a stigma behind saying this, but I'm one of those variety streamers. Do me, come after me, at me.
See,
Play anything from Escape from Tarkov to Dark Souls to Lord knows, whatever takes my fancy. Yeah, I'm just me.
And that's okay. That's okay. And of course, as seen by the socials that are underneath them as well. But Uni is also UK, so appreciate them being there. Just kind of like when we had Villain on the show, and then Ryan and all those guys. It's very late for them at this time of day, so I appreciate very much them being on the show. Obviously, they're all good friends of mine, so I really appreciate them taking the time out of their morning. It's like some ungodly time over there, so I always appreciate when they're on the show. And also, like you said, like variety wise, I know that you're variety. I my stigma with variety, and I don't know if you guys agree, I hate the term variety because so many people say they're variety and then they're not. And that drives me nuts. Like that's my issue with variety streamers, because they're like, I'm variety, and then I look at their last month of played games and it's KAD and just chatting.
I mean, for me, you have to look over like more of a broad spectrum, because even as like variety streamer, you get stuck into sort of like holes where there's nothing else you want to play.
I get it. Yeah.
But no, it's like when you see people who say they're variety streamers and all they play is like FPSs and BRs, and I'm like, you kind of just shoot a streamer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I agree with that. That would be a better definition. Like if you say like but then you just only play, and like me, and like I get in a lot of FPSs, but obviously I play MMOs and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, if you're a BR FPS streamer, then say you're FPS and not variety. You're not playing Mario and stuff like that on the stream. So no, I agree. So we have like 3 very variety people on the show tonight. So yay, actual variety all across the spectrum. That being said, also, if you guys are listening and meeting Uni for the first time, do you still have the disclaimer up on didn't you used to have the disclaimer up on Mixer that like this is your real voice? Or is that still a thing?
It used to be a command, so now it's currently in my description, and like when you first chat in the channel, like the little pop-up message you get, it's in that. Yeah, people still can't fucking read, apparently.
I know, because that's like such a huge thing, and I find it amusing. I mean, I did the same thing the first time I heard you. Like I remember way back on Mixer and coming in, I was just like, wait, what? And it took me a minute. It's like, oh, okay, and, didn't want to be that guy, It's like, so I waited. It's like, oh yeah, no, that's real voice. All right, cool, But yeah, now I remember it being like in the description or whatever, and like being a thing. So yeah. So yes, that is Uni's voice. It's not like when I do my little random like
this kind of stuff right here. It's not one of those.
It's like a real thing, And even though my voice effects when I sound like God are very entertaining. What else? I don't remember. There was something else I was going to ask you before we got into it, but I can't remember what it was. I don't know. I'll think of it later, and we'll just touch back in the middle of the show on it, and we'll move from there. Let's go ahead and get into the core of the show. Talk about all the good news stuff. Starting off with, of course, the PS5 announcement earlier. Well, not PS5 announcement. I guess the whole showcase earlier today. The Sony showcase. Main focal point being PS5. Core news. We got prices. We have launch dates. So we'll be talking about all the games and things like that as well. But I think one of the main things coming from it is we have a launch date. November 12th is the release of the PS5. $499 for the official PS5, and then they do have a digital version, which is $100 cheaper at $399. Pre-orders officially start tomorrow, but people are already pre-ordering all over. I've seen so many people. So somehow some retailers are doing it. It's just, I don't think they're supposed to. I don't know. Some wires got crossed, but so many people have already pre-ordered it all around the world pretty much. So if you go tomorrow to get a pre-order and they're already pre-ordered out, it's probably because they were started today as soon as the press conference ended. But first thing out the gate before we get into it, what do you guys think about price points in comparison to like Xbox and all? You guys think that they have a chance? You think that, $499 for both consoles? What do you think out the gate?
I think it depends. Oh, there you go.
So you guys first.
Oh, I can go first? Okay. I've always been a PlayStation fangirl, so I think them being the same price is better, and I'll get the PlayStation, but I usually buy stuff second gen because the first gens always have an inherent issue with it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember buying a PS2 and having to replace it twice because of the disc read error. So I've just never really liked the Xbox, and them being the same price, especially because you can get the fully digital one without the disc reader for $399 is great. So.
Uni?
So I agree about the prices being the same. I feel, you know, it makes it more of a healthy competition because obviously with COVID and obviously everyone, you know, being out of work and everything, if one's going to be more than the other, then obviously people are going to go with the cheaper one when it may not be the one that they want, which I find is great. The fact they've done a digital version, also great. Not personally for me. I always like to have a physical copy. I hate digital, and I will. I'm an old stick in the mud for that. I wish though that like the Xbox, they did like either a more powerful or less powerful version. But obviously, I know we'll most likely get like a PlayStation 5 Pro in like 6 months' time after everyone's brought all of this.
Yeah, that's definitely one of those things like I'm going to get into here in a second, which is the specs wise. So if you kind of look into it and see all the specs, and actually IGN released on their Twitter page a very simple, and I'll put it up over here. Let's a very simple version of a specs comparison sheet. There is a more in-depth one that I was looking at earlier that I might quote and comment on a little bit, but this is a very rundown, simple version of the specs sheet. Between the Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, and then the digital ones as well. So it has the price and things like that. Like Uni was just saying, the PS5 to PS5 digital, there's really not a lot of a difference on. Like, I know you were talking more like, oh, if they have like a Pro edition, kind of like we've had like Pros and Elites and things like that, and that'll come with time. But even the difference in spec-wise, for $100, really the only difference between the PlayStation 5 and the digital edition is the disk drive. Looking at even the more ingrained specs, it's pretty much exactly the same piece of hardware. They just took out the disk drive and cut it by $100. I think if I look at it in the ingrained specs that I had, I think the hard drive I think is even the same. Like it's the same system, pretty much for the digital and the PlayStation 5 itself. Comparing to the Xbox, size-wise, cat's laying down right in front of everything. Don't want her to accidentally turn off the stream by hitting the Stream Deck button, which she has done before. Hi, kitty. So Xbox compared to PS5, like I said, one of the things that was mentioned that I saw, and it's amazing to me, actually, is the size of the PS5. So if you look at the dimensions that are mentioned here, which it bothers me the way that they have it with 8.79 inches wide and then 3 inches deep, like that. This should be wide, not that. Like you're not looking at it from this. I don't know. But anyways, so it says that it's 4 inches deep, whatever, and then almost 9 inches wide, and then almost 16 inches tall. Like the comparison between the size, like we all thought the Series X was going to be kind of big or whatever, but like size wise, it's really not. This is the largest console ever. Like barring like old school Intellivision, Comcast or ColecoVision, that kind of thing. This is in the modern day. This is the largest console piece of equipment that ever has been released, and those specs aren't even including the little base thing. So for like width and all that adds it. So that's going to add to the height. There's a digital rendering that somebody did here that shows just these four. Pretty much the same size. This is the Xbox Series S, the Series X, and then the PlayStation PS5s. Like, so I think that's funny. One of the things that arguably could be brought up with everything else about these when people are doing the console wars, which of course I don't advocate, but I get if you only have to choose one, it becomes into it. But a lot of people were talking about the size. I remember people talking about the size of the Series X and fitting into entertainment units because of the way that it looked. Arguably, the PS5 is going to be much more of an issue when it comes to that. If you're trying to fit it into your entertainment systems, like this is twice the size. These aren't even as deep. of a, an actual rendering here. And then in comparison to, here's like some more stats. Where's the other one? This is actually a rendering of the largest consoles of all time. So you have the PS5 here. This is the Xbox One, and then the original Xbox and the PS3, which was the biggest one before in overall area size-wise. It's a huge freaking console.
It was that big.
Yeah, and I did that's why I like looking at the 3D renderings and everything like is huge, because you just look at numbers and you're like, oh, okay, but no, it's bigger. It's bigger than the Xbox One is now. It's bigger than any console we've seen before, and that's one of those things that definitely plays into the commentary. And I think people, for how much of a stigma they were saying about the Xbox 2 months ago, looking at the pictures, this is definitely something to take into account when you're trying to fit it into your entertainment system. Because, I mean, not that I use my entertainment system anymore, but I don't know. Like, I definitely wouldn't be standing it up. There's no way I could stand it up.
No.
You're looking at 16 inches without the base to get it to stand. Probably 17, maybe 18 inch. I don't know how exactly big the base is. They didn't release the stats sheet. Does not include that. That's one of the things a lot of people were talking about. Stat sheet does not include the base or doesn't have any sizes on the base and how big it is. So probably 17 inches with the base. Like, I guess they're expecting people to stand it up like next to their TVs. Like, I don't know how that's supposed to work. It's fucking
that still
huge.
Seems excessive.
Yeah, it's freaking huge at the end of the day is what I'm getting at. Huge.
Look,
Huge.
It's going to be a cold, dark hell kind of day that I will ever complain about something being too big.
Well, I mean, 18 inches is a lot, okay? Some of us are happy with our Xbox One S Slims, all right? You gotta be able to work with what you got. No, I get what you're saying, and that is thing, but it's just something to keep in mind, because I remember that is something that a lot of people definitely brought up, and you don't realize it just looking at the numbers how big it actually is. Depending on the lighting, like Uni kind of just said, depending on what kind of pictures you get, the angles, it's all about angles, right? It's all about angles. You never know until you actually get the size comparison in person. Moving right along. No, obviously size there. To me, obviously they always said that they were going to do like a digital version. They showed that from the get-go with, kind of the earlier pictures of one without an actual disc reader. That being said, looking at the stats personally, I really feel like this digital version is very much just an afterthought to compete with the Series S. What do you guys think? Do you guys agree, disagree? Like, it's the same console.
I think the pandemic really changed how people buy video games, because we're not going into Walmart. We're not standing in giant lines of GameStop anymore. We're buying stuff online, and it's easier to, especially I know with the release of the Final Fantasy VII remake, that a lot of people were disappointed because there was a delay in when they got the game, when they could just buy it digitally. So I think it's to combat that. It's people, they can still buy the games on time and not have to wait for the games to come in, but they can also still order the special edition if they have the disc drive. So I think it's just to help combat price and stuff.
And also, people, I think, from the beginning of the last console series, were always complaining about, I prefer digital. I'm tired of carrying around cases and discs and all that kind of stuff. They get scratched, yada yada yada. You don't really use the discs anymore. You practically download the game. So I think people just want to be able to get rid of that option. So I think it's just accommodating two different groups.
So what you're kind of saying is that it's not so much, and I could agree with that. Maybe not really amending my statement, but I could see that this isn't so much them making a budget kind of console, more like what you could say the Series S is. This is just them saying, hey, if you're going to be digital only, just buy this one. It's $100 cheaper. I could agree with that. I would amend that. I still think my other point, kind of holds true. I think that it's kind of combination of the two. You know, like you said, this is more just rather than making a whole new console. This is, hey, if you're just gonna, you know, download everything, here you go. You know, here's a console that accommodates that for you, rather than really putting time and effort into making a budget-friendly, cheaper console, which isn't a bad thing. You know, they're still making, you know, you have your Sony fan people that are gonna buy Sony no matter what, and if they're gonna buy digital now, they could do it for $100 cheaper. Not really much of a difference. I mean, like I said, it's the same console. One thing I will say, the Xbox overall, like looking at a lot of the specs, personally, looking through all of it, I still think if you're going for stats and hardware and specs, I still think Xbox wins overall, looking at it. That being said, you know, obviously you have to take into account things like games and things like that. And I'm also, and I said it last week too, when we talked about the Xbox launch, if you're really looking at stats and spec sheets for a console, at the end of the day, just get a fucking PC. Like I'm kind of like torn. It's like if you're really that hard up on, which one I'm going to buy because the specs are better, if you really care that much, put that $500 into getting a PC, you know, like. But I mean, if I'm just comparing these two and I had to choose one, I still think I personally would go with, you know, the Xbox just because the specs are better, and I'm one of those people, but that's also why I have a PC. So I don't know, what do you guys think? If you had to choose just between one or the other, the way it stands right now, which one would you go with?
I would go with the. Dang it.
You both are so like polite and just like letting you guys go after each other. I'm gonna start naming and be like, all right, I'll start with you.
I'm gonna go for the PS5. I have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, so I get all the games through the Xbox on my PC anyway.
We're talking no PC. So this is a world without PC. One or the other. No PC. Like I said, no PC. Xbox or PlayStation.
PlayStation. I'm a PlayStation fangirl.
All right.
So.
All right. Uni, which one would you go with?
Well, Sony didn't close down Mixer, so.
I mean that you know that's an arguable point right there. I get it.
For me personally, it's definitely gonna be PlayStation 5 just because the exclusives to me are always better because they're more story driven. Games, while with like Xbox you've got like the Gears of War, the Forzas, the Halos, stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, Halo's amazing, although a few have been a bit
agreed.
But no, it'll be PlayStation 5 for me.
Yeah, and I think that's a strong selling point, and that's we talked about it last week. That is Sony's, what they're relying on at the end of the day is their exclusive, and they've done that through the last generation, and that's their selling point. Because if you look at hardware and a lot of these other things, the exclusives are really what they're driving home. Every time they talk about the system, and have up until this week, it's always they've been talking about the exclusives and that. Price point wise, before we get into the game, a couple other things like announced. I still personally think if you are going budget friendly, because I don't think the digital edition is the way to go, even with the PlayStation Plus collection that we'll talk about in a second, all of this, I still personally think that if you are a parent or, you know, buying a console or trying to be really budget friendly in this generation, I still think above all of them, the best deal, even if you're not 100% budget friendly, I still think the best deal is the Series S. With everything that it comes with for $300, I really think that's the way to go. There's only one or two exclusives on Sony, which, you know, you could wait till it goes a little bit cheaper. A lot of Sony's games, they have great exclusives, but right now, at least the way that it's on launch, we'll talk about a couple of them in a second. A lot of them also are coming out on PC, not necessarily on Xbox, but a lot of them are coming out on PC. So, I mean, for me, $299 for a Series S, you know, it has 4K support. It's native 1440, but has 4K support. I don't even have a 4K TV. I stopped caring about a TV a while ago because, you know, streaming and gaming on PC. But I think for $299, I still think if you're a family, if you're anything like that, the size, the price point, everything with the Ultimate Collection, I still personally think that's the way to go for this next generation. Because like I said, if you're that hard up on the specs and building a better or having the best console, just get a PC. Just take that $500, $600 that you're gonna spend with an extra controller and whatever and a game and all that kind of stuff. Just go build a PC. Just go do that. It'll work out better. But besides obviously the straight up announcement, they did talk about a lot of games and a lot of new things coming. First of all, off which, with the launch, PlayStation Plus collection is something that they announced today, which is in direct counter to pretty much the Game Pass Ultimate. It was announced. There's like a minute little teaser thing. I have it in the Discord. Not really worth watching because it's just a compilation of old trailers. But pretty much what it is a new feature for PS Plus subscribers, which is their Xbox Live Gold. Same kind of thing. The subscription service allows you to play online. It's going to allow people who subscribe to the service to play classic PS4 games on their PS5. Just digitally download. So it says, I think, like over like up to 100 games or something like that. They said a lot of PS4 games. So they had Last of Us. I mean, there was a bunch of different ones, but pretty much it gives you PS4 games on the PS5. So direct counter to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate announcement last week, in my opinion. I don't see any other. I don't know personally. I don't know if you guys agree. I don't know that this would be a thing if Xbox hadn't done what they did with the Ultimate. I don't know. Agree or disagree? I just think that this is like, oh shit, they're doing this? All right, I guess we got to do something too.
I feel this is them so when they recently spoke about the PlayStation 5 thing, like, oh, it's completely backwards compatible, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
This is them, I feel, kind of trying to save face on the fact that it's not going to be anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, because the last couple generations have been backwards compatible in some way, and this one is not at all. But we do have this for the PS4, or for the PS4 game. So that is, yeah, this is a way for them to at least digitally allow you to still play your PS4 games. I agree. Took any other thoughts on it?
No, I agree the same way. I've talked to people who do stream a lot of like the old school games, like they'll stream the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3 games on the PS4, and they're like, yeah, no, I ain't gonna buy it just because it doesn't play those games. Mm-hmm. So I think this is just, catering to those certain people. Trying
to get them in. You know, if you already have it on PS4 here, you can still play it on PS5. I still think, besides that, I don't know personally how much extra games besides that, though, are going to be released. And I still think that's going to be the difference between like the Ultimate and the PlayStation Plus, because this is, it allows you to play old games, but like Game Pass Ultimate is giving you new games with the release as well. And I think that's a huge deciding factor for it, because how many times can you replay the same game? Some of them a couple times, but if you have to choose between playing old games or playing old games and getting new games on release, I don't know. I know which one I would pick. I don't know. I know I'm sounding very much like an Xbox fanboy right now. It's not that. I've just looked at all these stats, and I really personally feel that Xbox has more weight in this argument. I'm trying to be unbiased, but everything I keep seeing, it's like I feel like Xbox is winning, that bout. There's a couple things that they don't, but like exclusives and that. But yeah, because who the fuck? Ooh, yay! Xbox has Forza and ooh, cool. I'd rather have the PlayStation exclusives. I agree with Uni on the story-driven ones and things like that. But PS Plus collection will be out when the PlayStation launches. I did not see a price, if there's a difference of price or anything, so I think it's just the same. If you already have PlayStation Plus, you're good to go. That being said, moving on into the games that were announced, because a lot of games with launch and everything were announced. What do you guys want to talk about first? Which one? Pick a game.
Demon's Souls.
Of course, it's Demon's Souls. Of course, we get to that.
I don't speak first.
Yeah, hold on. Let me pull up. I actually didn't have that one still pulled up. So a lot of games, obviously mentioned during the event today. A lot of videos. I did have the Demon Souls one up, but of course, when I updated a whole bunch of things, I accidentally closed it, and now I have to reopen it. All of these. Yeah, the pre-order, well, the pre-order officially launches tomorrow, but it, a lot of places did it today. But officially, it's supposed to be tomorrow. It was just a giant fuck-up by Sony/distributors, pretty much. Yeah. Let's see. Where'd Demon Souls go? All right, here we go. Let's do this. So Demon Souls... obviously, if you are not familiar with it, is a spiritual precursor, because Dark Souls is spiritual successor. Demon Souls is spiritual precursor. It's not in the same universe, but it's very similar. If you guys aren't familiar with it, obviously, the original kind of game of the series, though. When did Demon Souls come out? Like.
Very early 2000s.
Yeah, like
PS3.
Yeah, I was about to say like PS3 days, right? If I remember correctly.
2009.
2009. All right, so see, and that's okay. A remaster 11 years later, I am perfectly okay with that, And honestly, I'm gonna switch over to it, and on stream, I have, like I said, I have all these videos in Discord. If you guys want to watch them on YouTube, highly recommend, because a lot of them are in like 4K or actually like in 1080 or 1440, etc., etc. And I can only, stream on Twitch in so high of a resolution. But it looks great. It really does. First thing off the bat, it looks really, really good. Let's see if it actually, adjusts here. As that being said, I say...
I have to go feed the cat.
Okay, fine. Wait, hold on. Am I at the... Okay, yeah, there we go. There we go. It caught up. I think it looks absolutely just phenomenal.
I mean, it does truly look beautiful. My issue is something was bothering me while I was watching this, and it's like the camera angle isn't where the camera angle is going to be when you play the game, or how you usually play Dark Souls games. So that threw me off. Obviously not having
it does look it does look a little more. They're showing this a little more cinematic look, maybe.
Yeah.
Of it. I didn't notice that, but I've never played Demon Souls. I think I played a little bit of Dark Souls 1. I really got into Dark Souls like Dark Souls 2. I do remember when it all came out. I remember being excited for it, but then I never played it. Yeah. So, but yeah, this is why we skipped a little bit into this video, because it's just him running and one-shotting everybody here at the beginning. And I was like, all right, cool. But story-wise, like I said, it is different than Dark Souls, but it is really cool that the original kind of game that started it all is getting remastered. And like I said, it looks great. Like, I think they did a hell of a job with it, at least from initial looks. Like, it definitely looks like a game that could have come out today. No problem. And then boss fight and all that right here. Let me see my notes on it here. Did I take many notes about it? The thing is about it with this remaster, obviously on PS5, this is one of those that is not, even though I was at the show today and I always like to point this out, this is one of those that is not exclusive to whatchamacallit, PS5. So it's also going to be on PC.
Well, I mean, that doesn't surprise me, because obviously I think they learned the hard way with like Bloodborne. Even though that game is truly loved, the fact that it is still a PS4 exclusive made it kind of fall under the radar with a lot of people.
Yeah. No,
Which is a shame, because it's a beautiful, like, Lovecraftian.
Yeah, and I never got to play. Yeah, for that reason, that's why I never actually ended up playing Bloodborne. And I always wanted to, but I never got to play it. And I think that's, the double-edged sword that we see with PlayStation moving into this new generation. Like, their exclusives are great, but we've already talked about how Sony is learning and seems to be realizing that they have to make their other games available on like PC, at least. I mean, maybe not Xbox, but they're doing that. So, you know, when you say that they have these exclusives, I'm like, yeah, they do, but how long until those are also going to be out on PC? Like, that's why I'm kind of like, when it comes to me on PlayStation, because we've already seen them learning. Like, obviously it was a terrible port, but Horizon Zero Dawn was ported to PC. It was terrible, but they're already starting to bridge and realize, hey, we need to get in on the PC market and need to not be exclusive just to our console if we're gonna survive moving forward. But I'm honestly really excited. I'll probably get it and play it. It looks amazing. Obviously, Uni's gonna get it. Right? He was so excited. Like, he was like, I can't wait for Demon's Souls. Yeah, we were talking earlier, and I'm like, no. I was giving a little bit of shit at the beginning before we got on. I'm like, we'll talk about it during the show. No, it's not bad. I just think I'm more okay with this than like Devil May Cry, which we're not gonna watch that video. Devil May Cry is getting a actual, what is it? Devil May Cry Special Edition or whatever it's called. Hold on. Yeah. Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition is coming out at launch with PlayStation, which we just talked about a little bit ago before the show. It's been out a year and a half, something like that. So
Yeah.
Cool. Like, I don't see the point of a
Could have
release.
been a DLC. Could have been a DLC.
They could have just upgraded it. Yeah, it could have been something simple. Like, they're trying to get that Skyrim money, you know, and it's not exactly working out for them. But there's something else I want to say about Demon's Souls, but I don't remember what it was, and it's not in my notes, and that bothers me. I hate when I don't write something down. This is why I have my notepad of all my notes for the show.
Is it saying how at least they're doing a proper remaster and like what they did with Dark Souls 1? Or all they did was just a hardware stabilization and updated the fire on the bonfire?
That wasn't one of my points, but I agree. And I do know, yeah, I remember that being a thing. And obviously it didn't bother me too much. Obviously Uni has some feelings on this, and I am 100% okay with it. I do remember that being a thing. So yes, I think that's why I'm a little bit more excited for this, because it looks like a true remaster, not just, all right, we changed a couple textures. Yeah, exactly. Like, that's why I said this looks like a game that is coming out this year or next year. What do you guys want to do next? You guys want to? We'll bite the bullet. Let's talk about Hogwarts. Let's do the Hogwarts one. Let me pull it up. I need to rearrange these. Hold on. No, wait. There we go. Yeah, so Hogwarts Legacy official reveal trailer today. A lot of people excited, a lot of people not. And we briefly talked about it before the show. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the idea. We'll let the video go and do its thing, but
now it is time to add your own story to these hallowed halls, and quite possibly shape the future of the wizarding world. Every corridor, every portrait, every stone in this castle tells the story of witches and wizards who came before. Here you will meet lifelong friends and grow into your own magical abilities in the classrooms of the world's most talented professors. And while your journey begins at Hogwarts, brewing potions,
my issue is I know I wouldn't get any decent spells.
mastering spells,
Always was my issue with Harry Potter.
there is a larger world beyond these walls. A world filled with dangers you can't yet imagine. An ancient knowledge long gone from this world
Like, where's my fucking fireballs and shit, you know?
that strange and
I just want to
mysterious
run
talent
around
you
and
possess
Avada
may
Kedavra
be
everyone.
the key to unlocking
See, no, I don't want that. I don't want some bullshit like white Jedi powers of force push and everything. No, I want lightning and fire. I want to be yeah, exactly. Not this not this bullshit of, oh, I took away his wand. No, I want they like that.
Will reveal what
I want to shoot fire like that dragon is. And I know that wouldn't be a thing. Why is this the same as the Avengers movie? Anybody else notice that? That was so like Avengers.
The legacy of Hogwarts.
So, game itself looks nifty. Open world is how they're, how it's supposed to be. Open world Harry Potter game. A lot of people have been asking for one of these for a long time. And I think that's where a lot of people are excited for. This looks, and I remember back when Pokemon Go was coming out and the talk of, a Harry Potter version of Pokemon Go, which I think ended up kind of happening. Did it? Or something? Somebody
saying I have it on my phone. I never play it.
Yeah, that's that. Like, I think it actually kind of happened eventually. So a lot of people have been looking forward to this game or something very similar to this for a long time. That being said, we started to talk about it before the show. If you're not aware, the whole environment around Harry Potter and a lot of the fans are very upset because of J.K. Rowling and her opinions. I'm trying to think how best to put this. Her opinions and statements involving the LGBTQ community, and very transphobic remarks and just statements and just the way that she is handling a lot of things. To put it very much in a nutshell, like, I am very, very much Reader's Digesting the whole environment. So I think, and I'll let you both take it away, because, I mean, you both are part of that community. So you both have more of an opinion probably on it than I do. You started to say before, I'll just let you go. Like, Uni, how do you feel about this game? I think we said, I think it was you or Took or whatever, but like, read the room. I think it was you. That's what you said, right? Like,
so the game itself, if it's going to be open world, character customization, you can make your own character. That is me sold on this game. And I'm not much of a Harry Potter fan, but you give me that, you win me. But with the whole like J.K. Rowling thing, they really need to distance themselves from her, make it very clear that her views are hers. This bitch is wilding. She needs to be taken off social media, to sit back and shut the fuck up. To put it nicely.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not wanting to start a whole uproar here with the whole thing, but we all agree. And anybody who says otherwise, like, well, I don't have those kind of people on my channel either. So, I mean, it's all good. So it's, whatever. But I agree. I think, and it sucks, I think a lot of people are torn that this in some way still is going to benefit her. She's still getting rights to this game. She's still getting money. And at least me, I saw a lot of people upset because they want this game. Like you just said, like, making an open world Harry Potter, like, want to play, want to enjoy it. This is a game you've been waiting for, but you also don't want to support her. And so many people are torn right now because of that. Took thoughts?
I know I saw a couple of posts on Twitter from other people in the LGBTQ community saying that, yes, they're going to buy the game and then they're going to match that. They're going to buy the $60 game and then give $60 to an LGBTQ organization because we shouldn't be giving her money. She's a terrible, terrible human being, and what she said about us is not okay. So,
yeah,
some part of me is, I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. I'm a Slytherin to the end, but just the things she said in the last year, we can't forget them, and it's so hard because I'm really torn because I want the game. It's beautiful. I want to play it, but I don't want to give her any money.
Yeah, I think that's where it's a rock and a hard place kind of thing that a lot of people are in because they're really excited for it, but they don't want to support her, and I think that's a good idea, because even though like she's definitely not getting all $60, like this is an actual, you know, development company and everything like that, but she still is getting money off of it. So but something like that this is something that you've been waiting for so long, and to have it be tarnished in such a way just absolutely sucks. I mean, there's really no way around it. Just like you just said. I mean, you want to play it so bad, but you can't support, you know, what they're saying. Me, it's not a big deal, like, for me, in terms of, not to this, but, like, I don't support, and I don't buy a chicken biscuit from Chick-fil-A because I don't support a lot of what they're doing, but that's really easy. That's a $5 Chick-fil-A biscuit. I can go to Popeyes and get a fucking chicken sandwich, too. Not a big deal. This is something that has been longed for a very long time in the community, and it's being tarnished, and you know, it's great. I'm hoping maybe things will be better by the time it comes out. Maybe things change. Maybe something happens, because this is not, you know, official release date. It says 2021. We don't have an official release date, but maybe things change before then. Because it's definitely a very tumultuous fandom right now with everything that's going on. And a lot of people are very torn. I've been seeing it all day on Twitter that so many people are torn because they don't want to support her, but they've wanted this game for years. They've wanted to live in this environment for years. So I agree. It's I mean, I'll probably still end up getting it, but yeah, then I definitely would have to do like a charity something, or we all get the game, but then while playing the game, do fundraisers, all donations going to communities, and there's an idea. There's
idea.
There we go. That see, I have good ideas sometimes. Looking at you, social media and everybody, like, yeah, let's make this happen. You want to play the game? That's how we do it as streamers and influencers. There we go. I don't know. Any other thoughts on it right away before we move on to another game?
Not really. Apart from that, I just hope it's multiplayer.
Dude, I don't know.
I want an MMO.
Yeah, I know, and that's the thing. Like, so many people want an MMO. I think an MMO is what people really wanted. This is the next best thing, open world type of thing. If this is multiplayer, then I'm gonna have to get it. Like, and I'm not even a huge Harry Potter person. Like, I'm, you know, I don't know technically.
You want to be a wizard?
Yeah, I want to be a wizard. You know, I grew up reading them. I remember doing it. Like, I mean, that generation, I am part of it. It's definitely a huge part of my life that I know about, you know, and I was never a huge Harry Potter nerd, but I, you know, read every one of them when they came out, all of that. I don't know what house I am. I've never really taken the test. I don't know, but
I feel ashamed.
I was Slytherin.
Yeah, so
I want to be Ravenclaw, though. I'm not that evil.
Okay, it's okay. I'm married to a Hufflepuff.
Oh.
Aren't Hufflepuff the really like jolly people? Because that would definitely make sense for me.
Jolly, happy, clumsy people. Yes.
Yeah,
that's paste.
Yeah, that sounds like, yeah, I could definitely peg that as Nofa 110%. But yeah, so we'll see definitely what happens moving forward with this game, obviously, as it gets closer to 2021 and that. Next, we could do, well, Final Fantasy 16. I don't really, Awakening. There is a launch date and a trailer for it. It's in Discord. I don't really think that it needs a watch. Like, I mean, I don't know, unless you guys want to watch it. It's a longer one.
So I have opinions on this. We don't have to watch it though, but I need to voice these opinions.
Yes. We're still going to talk about it. Don't worry. Yes, let's talk about it. Okay. Yeah. Yes, talk away.
I am officially sick and tired of angsty, prepubescent, spiky-haired boys being the main characters of Final Fantasy games.
I could 110% agree with that. It's been the same character for how long?
I don't understand how this is different from the last game. It's the same exact shit. It's a fucking prince and a bunch of people fucking protecting him. It's not any different.
It literally is
in medieval Europe.
It's the exact same crap. Like the last time we had a decent, decent female lead role was Final Fantasy X Part 2. If any of you like Lightning, you all go fuck off. Officially, Lightning was boring.
Lightning was 14, right? Or no, 14 is not 13. Lightning was 13, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She literally just had no personality.
I thought she was kind of cute, but I'm an anime person. I like girls with pink hair, so I mean,
There we go.
I mean, I'm a little biased because you know that's what I watch a lot. So, but yeah, no, I 100% agree. This is,
and it's got like the same fighting style as well, which just looks boring.
It's the same.
Uninteresting.
It's the same game. It's like a couple other things, yeah, you know, that we've talked about. If it's like a COD at this point. I feel like the Final Fantasy brand is like a COD at this point. If you are gonna buy it, you're gonna buy it either way. It's the same game over and over. It just looks a tiny little bit different. But the days of having a transformative experience playing a Final Fantasy are long gone. I don't.
I don't know, because first of all, we need to put 16 on the back burners. Fuck it off for like 2 years. Let's finish the 7 remake, because that was truly amazing.
I'm glad it's better than how it started. I didn't play because I was firmly, after what I played at West, and I've talked about this whole time, I was so adamantly against 7 when I played the demo at West. Not only did I sit in line for a fucking hour and a half to go play this fucking 10-minute demo that looked and played like shit, I was so adamantly against it. It was better than what was originally conceived, but also I'm not a huge Final Fantasy 7 like fanboy. Like a lot of people, like that was a huge game for them growing up. That wasn't it for me. I was very much a PC person already by that point in my life. So I, you know, Half-Life and Fallout and all those are huge monumental things for me. Them remastering 7 to me was just like, all right, you know, whatever. Yeah. So, but I agree. I think they need to finish 7. But I supposedly it's already done. That's what I thought. My understanding was that 7's already done. They're just parsing it out.
And give it to me already.
I want it. Give it to me. I need part 2.
Like that was my understanding, is that it's like the kind of like how they did Lord of the Rings, is that it's out and they're just releasing it in installments, or like mostly out and then releasing it in like, you know, every year or something.
Yeah, it looks like it's coming out in April. It was supposed to come out in March, but it was delayed, so it's coming out April next year.
Okay.
Fuck me.
They have to make us wait. They know we want it.
Exactly. Like I said, they're pulling the Lord of the Rings style thing, you know.
And you know there's gonna be like a 3-4 year thing. 'Cause, like we've literally only just left Midgar, which in the original you can do in like 20 minutes or less.
Just go through it. Yeah.
It's true.
I mean, it is a good game, but no, but it's, as far as I know, I assume it's 2 totally different studios doing it. But then you have, if you're a Final Fantasy person, you have that torn, like, which one do you get? Like, if you're spending time like this and that, like, okay, you're almost stealing from your own fan base. I feel like I don't know, maybe I'm not, maybe I'm just coming up with this on the spot as talking points, but I mean, if these release around the same time, I don't know, do you go with Final Fantasy 7, the next installment, or do you get the next 16 Final Fantasy 15 version 4?
I mean, you're asking the 2 worst people, because we've already said we don't care for it.
Yeah, you know, I'm talking like out loud, like that's, and that's why. This is what I do the whole show, Uni. I make talking points, all right? Let me be.
So, if we're doing like a mass generalization thing where we're big Final Fantasy fans, you've already hooked people in with Final Fantasy 7. We've already done that. They're already sold. You've already got them. So you're most likely going to get 16. Obviously, I don't think, like I said, we have an official release date, so it could be coming out January, it could be coming out December.
Yeah, no word.
It would be bad if they did it near the release date of the second installment of 7. So they're either going to do it before or after by a few months, because then it gives people time to play that game complete it, then go on to the next one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. That's why, you know, what they have to do. So realistically, that being said, since Took just looked up the release date, April, or no, you said it was April, now it's May, or
No.
was March,
April.
now it's May, or
It was March, now it's
April.
April.
So that being said, realistically, like Uni just pointed out, if they have half a brain between them in the marketing department, and they at least have half a brain, I'd say, I'm not saying a full brain, but we're probably looking at a fall, you know, holiday next year type of thing, because they're not gonna want to put this on top of 7V, you know, 7 Part 2. You know, I would say.
Yeah, because the communities for 7 and the new one are going to intertwine, but there's going to be people who want one over the other. A lot of people are like, oh, Final Fantasy 7, I didn't like that game. So they'll wait till the next one comes out. But I think you have to leave enough time, especially for people who love Final Fantasy. And maybe they'll see people's like reaction to the thing and go, oh, maybe we should change things, or who knows? They've done that before.
Yeah.
So
I agree. I think that's what we're looking at here for that one. I agree. All right, moving right along. Next in my notes I have is God of War. So God of War teaser trailer. Whoop. Pull this bad boy up. Oh, fucking A. Oh wait, this one I actually already had open. Haha, I don't have to watch an ad. It's already open on another tab.
ooh.
That's why I
I'm
normally
glad.
try to have them open, is because so that way I don't have to watch a 15-second ad every time I open one of these things.
I'm glad you're playing it, because I didn't care for God of War, so I didn't watch it.
All right, God of War teaser trailer. This is just a teaser trailer, so it's only 1 minute and 25 seconds. You know, can't complain about 90 seconds. You know, just gotta be happy with what you got, chat.
Time draws near.
It's really not much. You're not missing much. This is literally pretty much it.
Yep, that's much.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
There's no game.
Yep. Nope.
It's just a teaser trailer. What we do
Let
know
me
from
look at
it
it.
is Ragnarok. Yeah. Ragnarok is coming. It's assumed, like with the last game, Ragnarok is... Yeah. Yeah. Flip knows. That's all you need. You know, it's happening. We know it's happening. It's going to be called Ragnarok. That's a thing. Oh, that's what? Huh? What? Why does it say? That's weird. Well, since it started to go into it, yeah. So it's called Ragnarok. After that, there's really no other information. It's happening. It's a thing. It's coming out. That's all we know, and it's called Ragnarok. So that was shown today. Cool. That's really all there is to say about it. Let's go ahead. Where'd it go? Spider-Man. My favorite part of the whole show. Spider-Man Miles Morales. For me, the main thing that warrants possibly, or the only thing that really warrants possibly buying a PS5 on launch is this right here. And I really wish this was crossplay, because I really don't want to buy a PS4 or PS5. Keep calling it PS4. But
experimental energy source.
So,
New form.
yeah, this is
Let's take a look.
we don't have to watch the whole thing. I skipped through the beginning, like it's talking about how the state of the game, where you're at.
Let's not shoot each other, all right?
Shows a little bit of cinematic goodness. This is like, I don't know, some type of technomancer purpose. Either way, they fucking beat them down really quick, and then have some snazzy shields, and I think that's awesome.
We're after the new form. Ignore
I
everything.
admit,
like
I
to also
thought it was
make-
Destiny.
Note that they said that all the gameplay was from the PS5 and not a PC. So
Yeah, they did say
all
that. They
actual
said that this
gameplay.
was PS5 gameplay footage. Yeah, they said that in the thingy that I skipped over. But that, we're to give you a point of reference, chat and everybody, we're 3 minutes into this demo already, so that's why I was like, I'll skip over all this. So obviously, this is a little more cinematic. There's a little bit of walking. We'll see the more graphics for combat here in a second, but it looks good. The first Spider-Man game was
Oh my god, it was awesome.
fucking amazing.
Keep him busy.
And I don't know who that chick is, but she's probably his girlfriend. Let's be honest. I don't even know. Like, it's probably his girlfriend.
The bridge is coming down. I have to stop this.
Like, and we all know if you play the Spider-Man like games, this is what the actual combat in that is like, and this is what they're showing. Oh, it looks so freaking good.
People are trapped over there. I have to push past these guys.
Dude, I want it so bad. I really do.
Oh.
So bad. All right, it's almost to the next part, so that's cool. It shows his abilities. Obviously, you know, Miles Morales, you know, his whole thing, he has all this like kind of electricity things built into his whole Spider-Man persona.
No.
Give me very infamous vibe.
Oh yeah, it's I mean, I could see that because he has like that kind of skill set.
Well, this is the perfect time for this game to come out. The
Yeah.
Into the Verse with Miles just came out
Yeah.
like a couple of years ago. They're working on the next one, so
Yeah.
everybody knows who he is. It's not this weird Spider-Man we don't know. He's a person of color. It's perfect.
Yeah, and I would argue that because of that, like Into the Verse and all that, like, is part of the reason they made this. I don't think if Into the Spider-Verse or whatever hadn't come out, I don't see this ever being a thing.
Oh no, it wouldn't have. We would just gotten more
Yeah.
Peter.
Yeah. I think it's funny that the guy that he saves from the buzz is actually more safe than everybody else here in a second. Like, everybody else here is still trapped. I'm like, oh, well, shit, I would have rather been the bus driver that's safe on the fucking boat.
I've got an idea.
Obviously, Spider-Man game would not be the same without quick time events.
I need something they can cross.
But, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much all of it. And then he does the Peter Parker, you know, or every Spider-Man, really, you know.
Every Spider-Man.
Yeah,
movie.
every Spider-Man in the Spider-Man universe has done this in some way, shape, or form. I mean, it's that for another, like, minute and a half, but it shows everything. We saw gameplay, we saw the cinematics, we saw the quick time. Full video is in Discord. Like I said, it's almost 8 minutes long. To me, it looks fucking amazing. I love Miles Morales. I think it looks really freaking cool. I loved the first game too, though. I loved the Spider-Man game on PS4. One of the best games that they came out with on PS4, in my opinion. You know, my biggest thing, and I've said this before with this, is for the price and what they've talked about. I hope that this doesn't come out kind of like an add-on. Maybe not like. I hope it's not just like a short, almost expansion pack for the price. Is my biggest thing.
I think they had said that it was going to be a full game, and it was already in development when they started the other game. So it's just like a sequel.
Okay.
So it shouldn't be a DLC.
Yeah. Yeah, because, I mean, it's the same price point. It's obviously like, you know, a standalone thing coming out of PS5, but some early reports were saying that it's like, you know, under 10 hours or something like that. And I'm like, if I'm playing a new Spidey game and all that and paying the $60.
The other Spidey game was so many hours.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. Like, I don't want this just be like an expansion thing, you know, or what like the expansions were to this game. If that's the case, then give it to me as an expansion or whatever for an expansion price, you know. Did you play the other Spider-Man on PS4?
So, when you say you love the first Spider-Man, I was thinking, he played it on PlayStation 1. Like
No, not
me.
that one. Not that one. No, I remember
play that one.
what was it? Spider-Man 2 was badass. I think that was still on PlayStation 1 or whatever. That one had like the best web slinging. I remember those old school games. No, I'm talking about the one that just came out on PS4. No, but I remember those games. They were a lot of fucking fun. Then you could change like your outfits and all that, and you
Yeah.
unlocked the things. Oh, I remember. I'm old too. Don't forget that.
I haven't. It's on my to-do list. There's a lot on the PlayStation 4 that's on my to-do list.
Definitely 100% worth it. This.
Oh yeah.
It's one of those, like, this is up there to me, even though this is a little bit more obviously action and all that, but this is up there with, you know, Last of Us. This is one of those exclusives that makes it worth having a PlayStation. And PlayStation has those.
It's the Final Fantasy of Spider-Man, basically. It's got side missions, you've got side quests, you can get fancy uniforms, you can go save people, you can go run around just swinging everywhere, or you can just do the story. So it was a good game. I'm glad they took their time on it, and I want them to take their time on this. That's all I want.
Yeah.
I wish, though, with these Spider-Man games, they did like what one of the Batman games did, where you had the little bit where you could play as Catwoman, and they do it where you can play a bit as Black Cat.
Yeah, I hope. Well, so with the other Spider-Man game, they had. I don't think you didn't know part of it. One of the expansions, didn't you play as what's her face?
Yeah, Black Cat. Yes.
Yeah, Black Cat.
There was a Black Cat DLC.
Go on.
Yeah, with
There was a couple with her.
I know she had like one
they had.
dedicated one with the whole thing, because she's in the main story, and then one of the expansions is, I just wasn't sure. I knew that it was focused around her. I couldn't remember if you play as her or not, because I didn't get to play it yet.
Yeah, I think you play as her, and it's a whole side story thing.
Yeah.
I don't remember it being particularly very long, but I remember it being pretty and well written.
Yeah. All I remember is just in the main game, the sexual tension between the two of them was just palpable, and I loved every second of it. I was like,
yes,
come on, bro, come on, Peter, just go
90s
for it.
Spider-Man all over again.
Yeah, just go for it, man. Things aren't working out with Mary Jane. Come on, just do it. It's okay. No, I love Miles Morales, obviously, and I wasn't a huge into Spider-Man lore, so I'm one of those that knew kind of Miles Morales a little bit before Into the Spider-Verse came out. But obviously, especially afterwards, I love him like a lot of people. So I have no problem saying that, I'm one of those people that now wants to play this because of that film. And that's why I think that a lot of people do, I thought he was a cool character, but, he also wasn't one of those characters in the old school games. And I think that's partly because of, let's be honest, racism and representation and all that. Like, there were a lot of different skins and things like that you could be in, like Spider-Man 1 and 2 back on the original PlayStation.
Was that Miles?
I don't think Miles was one of them. It's been a while, but I'm pretty sure the Miles Morales character was not one of them. So cheers for and yay for, things getting slightly better in representation in gaming and in the world. No, this is the one game. This was the main thing that I was excited for from this show, is seeing that whole trailer. Totally worth it. I'm excited. This would be why I would get a PlayStation. But to me also, I don't know, like you said earlier, I don't know if I'll get it first gen and just wait, but we'll see. But yes, you should definitely get the other one and play it. 110%. It's worth it.
Now you've told me about this DLC. I'm literally about to search for it now. Find out how much it is.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Get it, and then you have your little bit of fun and excitement. Other trailers: Resident Evil, bringing out the horror goodness. Resident Evil 8 has a new trailer that they released today on the PS5. This is another one that obviously is not an exclusive, but they did show it today.
All clear. Come on, move. Chris, what the hell?
We also talk about how Chris Redfield got fat.
Chris Redfield has changed so much. He is like the embodiment of like I don't know, like getting old or whatever. Because literally, like every game, he looks completely fucking different. I think Chris Redfield.
He's the body dysmorphia. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, I'm just saying that I think Chris Redfield is like I'm creating lore here. Chris Redfield is a title given to certain people. He is like he's a James Bond. That's good. Chris Redfield is James Bond. You inherit the title of being Chris Redfield.
Mia.
Quit being so paranoid.
Long ago, a young girl went with her mother to pick berries for her father.
I love this
who was
little,
hard
like,
at work. But the
what was that
forest
game? Like
within the
Coraline
dark,
or,
cold silence.
there was a game that was like
Bushes
that.
empty.
I love that storytelling when they do that kind of shit.
Yet determined to find the berries, the rascal broke free of Mother's grasp and vanished into the trees.
Very Tim Burton-esque.
Mother's worried cries faded fast as the girl ran on, over vine, under branch, and into the forest deep.
Nothing says horror like creepy cult people.
It's just a local tale.
Hey, cat. Where you at? I don't know where she is. I don't know where she is. She might be hiding somewhere. Need to give her a treat. She was by my feet.
If it's just looking, window shop away.
Thoughts?
Want now? Give it to me.
I mean, very much the same. I cannot commend like Capcom more with how they completely revolutionized the Resident Evil series, like from Resident Evil 7 onwards.
Mm.
So obviously, 5 was a joke, 6 was beyond hated, even though I enjoyed it a little bit, just because I could play as
5 was
Ada Wong.
Mhm.
5, I think, can only be good when you're playing with someone. That is literally the only time.
Agreed.
Rumors, I don't even know if it got confirmed of them wanting to redo 4. I hope someone got fired with that idea. If I've listened to Ashley fucking scream, Leon! Again, I'm going to stab
4 was
someone.
terrible. Oh,
I remember playing
Just
4.
glorify
Like, yeah.
their sword mission.
Yeah, it really was, yeah.
But obviously, them branching away from the whole zombie aspect and bringing horror truly back to the Resident Evil games, I couldn't commend anymore.
Mhm.
Like it's amazing. I look forward to how this is going to be.
Mhm.
I also hope it's longer because I know 5 was super short. Like I remember beating it in like a day. I want it to be pretty. I want there to be good storyline, and I want it to be longer than 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Like 7 isn't long. I did a speed run.
7 was not.
Run.
Yeah.
Like speed run of an unprofessional person who just played the game too much and remembered where shit was.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember being able to do it in like one entire stream.
Yeah, 7 wasn't that long. I think I agree that I think whoever had the idea of, hey, let's branch out the Resident Evil franchise from just zombies and doing that. Like, and they I think they embraced, hey, there's more to the kind of horror type of game and all that than just, okay, zombies and this type of thing. Like, we could still keep it in that universe, like, obviously, have it relate in some way, but there's more to it in that. And I really agree that has been one of the best decisions that this franchise has made. And I'm not a huge Resident Evil person. Like, I don't hate it, I don't love it. I'll play them and I'm just like, all right, cool, whatever. But I 100% agree that moving away from the zombie stigma was probably the best thing that will keep this genre going. Whereas we just talked about Final Fantasy, which is the same game over and over and over. Resident Evil, obviously less games, yes, but they are realizing we shouldn't make the same game over and over. We should kind of branch out, keep the same feeling, but we can do more to represent that feeling. So, the one thing I personally didn't like about 7 that looks a little better here is the graphics. I personally was very, very disappointed when I first played Resident Evil 7. Like, I think I played it like almost on release or like release day or something like that. Like everybody was talking about it, and I loaded in and I'm like, these graphics are fucking horrendous. Like, I just remember, like, playing, I think it was on Xbox, so I don't even, yeah, this was pre-me streaming PC and all that, but I played it on Xbox, and it was, I just...
All I'm going to say is then, don't play it in PSVR. It's so much worse.
I'm sure. Because that was like, I'm like, why? Like, when you're walking away from the car and everything, you're just the car, like, at the very beginning of the game. Like, my first version, I remember going on, like, a 5-minute rant. I'm like, this literally looks like a car that was, like, rendered in, like, 2005. Like, and I was just, like, the whole area, I was just like, why does it look like this? Like, this is so bad for what's supposed to be a AAA budget game. So, that being said, from at least this video, it looks better.
Yes.
That's, you know, that's my biggest takeaway. That was one of my biggest reservations, one of my biggest pet peeves about 7 was that it looked like shit. You know, I couldn't stand it. I bitched about it the whole game, the whole fucking game. I'm like, wow, cool. So I'm still playing this game from 2008. Cool, great, sounds awesome. And yeah, it just I couldn't stand it. But yeah, like I said during the video, creepy cult people always a pleasure, always a winner in my book. So this is one of those, like I said, though, that is not going to be an exclusive. I'm not sure if it's a console exclusive even. All footage captured on PS5. I don't think it says exclusive anywhere. So this is just they had. I'll just do it. Resident Evil 8. I'm just gonna search like Xbox.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be on everything.
Okay. Yeah.
PS5, Xbox, and Steam.
Yeah, I didn't remember seeing any exclusivity, so they just bought the, hey, we want to show it, you know, we want to show that for our thing. So they did say that
might just get it first for a little bit, and then they'll release it and everything else.
Yeah. So obviously that was filmed, that video, on the PS5, but yeah, so it's not an exclusive. There was only, I think, one exclusive that they showed today, and I think that was the Spider-Man. I think, unless I'm forgetting anything else. What else haven't we done? Oh, God of War, but that was just a teaser thing. The only other ones that I see that I have things for, we did Demon Souls earlier. Oh, the Five Nights at Freddy teaser trailers. In the vein of horror and creepy things, dude, Five Nights at Freddy's, I remember that being fucking... I remember playing the original when it first came out, and just fucking nope.
Gregory, your friends are worried about you.
It's better than mannequins, but not by much. I fucking hate mannequins.
Please come out.
Scare games are the best.
I may have lost my temper earlier.
I find them cheap.
It won't happen again.
It really depends. Yeah, it really depends. I'm hit or miss on jump scare games.
All of us.
I'm more like atmospheric. If you are gonna make my like butthole puckered for like the entirety of the game, that is what I'm at.
Well, that's kind of more like me. I think a lot of times I'm more like, I don't like true, like, that's why Five Nights at Freddy didn't fuck me up like as much. Like, there were parts, but I think I agree. Like, I like the vibe. I like going through a whole area being like having to look for something around a corner. It's like something's about to pop out, and then nothing pops out, and then I'm like, why the fuck not? You know. But this Five Nights did get at me. But obviously, new Five Nights. If you're into jump scare games, they're crowd pleasers. They're fun, and yeah, it's console exclusive. Again, will of course be on PC because that's where it got started. But yeah, if you're
something I'm curious about though is if they're gonna do something different, like gameplay wise, or if you're still gonna be sat at a desk messing with a computer.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel if they're advertising it, obviously it's most likely going to be AAA game price.
Mm-hmm.
And if you sat at a desk trying to survive, like what was it, like a week or something?
Yeah, like whatever it was, like in the original, I don't remember. Yeah, no, I agree. Like, it's
not worth $70.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Actually, they mentioned it now that you mentioned that this actually did make it into their debut. Or their press release. Five Nights has always been a popular game, but more like a popular indie game.
It's an indie game. It was very indie. But
very big
I think
following.
Yes, I think with the way they were showing the environments and stuff, hopefully we're outside the desk. We're not. It's completely disappointed. Yeah. No.
Yeah, it looked like there was a lot more to the game rather than just like looking at it through a video camera, like the originals were and the couple of expansions and that. And that could be also, I'm hoping that there's a little bit more to it, you know, maybe walking around or something else happened, because it looked like, you know, the camera was moving through the hallway, you had the things looking down at you from above, that type of thing. Maybe get a little bit more movement around, having to do actual like security checks throughout. Maybe you have to go out and press buttons and turn things on and off, like you have to actually play like Night Guard and things like that. We'll see. But like you're saying, is this a $70 game? And maybe this is in reaction to Xbox has always been very embracing of their indie community. That's something that I think all of us could agree on. They've always shown more indie style games at pretty much every conference. So maybe this PlayStation is trying to show that they have that side too, maybe. I'm thinking about that. We're just in response to what you said. Maybe that's what they're going for. Because yeah, every Xbox conference has an indie game or two. So maybe they're trying to do that as well. Maybe somebody was like, hey, you know, let's have this idea. Let's get a couple smaller games. But I think,
if anyone remembers XO19, it had like 3 new games, like big games, and everything was indie.
Yeah. I miss the days of like 360 when they had the what was it, like the Xbox Marketplace or whatever it was, where indie developers, like, you could just go and download demos and just it was like free for them to upload, or very minimal for them. It was kind of like almost Steam on Xbox. And on the 360, you could go and just play these indie games or download them. Like, that was one of the best things ever, in my opinion, for like indie developers. You can make a game and put it on, you know, Xbox 360, and those were some great games. Some of them were a lot of fun. There was one that I remembered that you literally like you played. It was one of those like launching and see how far you could get games like you have now on mobile, except I remember playing it with my friends. You were a baby that was shooting out of a woman when she gave birth, and you were trying to like go as far as you could outside of her and bouncing off of things. Those were the kind of indie games that you got on 360, and they were hilarious. I had a lot of fun in my teenage years, all right? I think that was all the games that were announced, and I think that was pretty much everything from the conference today that we pretty much covered. I don't think there's anything else. Let me check my notes. That being said, we did Five Nights at Freddy's. We talked about Devil May Cry. Do all that. The only other thing that I want to talk about is, like you said right there at the end, is this a $70 game? And it's confirmed. There are already 2 games that they announced today. And I think one of them is the Devil May Cry remaster that are $70 games. That's a lot of fucking money. Like, I mean, we've talked about price points before and everything. Like, we've already seen, I don't know that, like, that's one of them. I'm trying to remember the article that I found, but, like, $60 is already a lot.
Pre-order.
Yeah.
Like, that one I can understand. That's a beautiful game. They've taken their time. It's going to be a great game. Remake of a game that's already been released in the same fucking game? No, I ain't paying no $70. I'll wait till it goes on sale a month later for like $30 because no one's gonna fucking buy it.
Yeah, it's looking like
live your hatred. I'm sorry. I love your energy. It's like, fuck this game.
Hey, as I get more, I'll have a little bit more hatred as well. I just haven't felt passionately about anything yet. But no, I'm right there. Like, $70 is a lot for games, and I'm not sure. Like, yeah, they're making, obviously, the consoles in this generation. I'm more than happy that they are cheaper. But what does that mean for the games? We've seen 2K already now. Was a $70 game. We've seen all them moving towards $70 games, and also this new controller. I think I mentioned it earlier, but I didn't really go in on it. The PlayStation controller is like $70 or $75. They announced as well. So that also plays into the price. So it comes with one controller. If you have a friend or somebody else you want to play with or ever anything like that, it's a $70 controller. That shit adds up.
You also have to remember, like, the Xbox controller was like, what, $50, $60?
Yeah. I was to say, yeah, it's
So
like 50, 60, like, you know, same price, you know.
it is a difference. Don't get me wrong; it's still stupidly expensive,
Mhm.
but
Yep.
welcome to new consoles.
Yep.
I say they'll eventually get cheaper. I'm full of shit. They won't.
Yeah, no. Well, that's why I'm so surprised, and that's why it kind of builds my idea that I had last week, in my opinion. The games and all these accessories are still the price that I expected them to be when we started talking about this 6 months ago, pre-COVID and all that, and pre a lot of this stuff happening. But the consoles and, like, you know, the graphics cards and all that got cheaper. I think that a lot of these companies, for whatever reason, like, realized that people had less money and just trying to get it into the hands of consumers. I still say that a lot of these were going to launch at higher prices, because all my other prices, like, you know, games, peripherals, all that I predicted is pretty much on point, going up in price. The consoles and even like the 3D cards going down in price totally throws me for a loop. I am more than happy with it. I am 100% for it. But I really feel like it's because they knew that in this day and age, like, nobody would buy it. Like, I really feel like they are taking a huge loss on all these consoles, which they already, you know, they did either way. But I really think them cutting down on all these prices for the tech that's in them is really because they have no other options. It's not because they're doing it for our better good. I think they just realized nobody will buy the $600-700 console that we were initially going to put it out at.
It could be $900.
Yeah,
something I've also noticed looking it up, talking about pricings and everything. A lot of these PlayStation or Xbox games that are going to be on the newer consoles, they're the exact same price on the older consoles. Like, I'm looking at, like, Watch Dogs Legion, £52, which is like 60
and change,
yeah. Exact same price of PlayStation 4. The new Assassin's Creed Valhalla, exact same price on PS.
Yep. So, I mean, and that it's driving, no matter what console you're on, you know, we're upping the price of everything, you know, whether you get the new console or not. So then it's like, okay, well, I'm paying $70 either way. I may as well have it on the new console. So it's driving that. Like, that's what I think. I think they realized we're not going to be able to, in the current economical climate, we're not going to be able to sell these consoles and sell the games and peripherals at the higher rate that has been happening every year. Like, we can't deny it. It's constantly been going up for, you know, however long we've been dealing with gaming. So I personally think that, you know, the 3D card, everything, like, they dropped it down because they knew at the end of the day, all right, we're going to get our money back in the games and things like that because we're still going to jack those up. So
something else I will touch on, because obviously we were talking about the price of the consoles and everything, and a lot of people wanting digital. My personal opinion, don't get the digital play. If you're going for PlayStation 5, get the physical copy, because $100 difference over the years, you're going to make that back so much more from buying pre-owned.
I would agree with that also. I think if you're worried about saving money, and this kind of plays into the same thing I said earlier, if you're getting a budget console, if you're trying to save money and get a budget console, the $299 Xbox Series S is way more the way to go than the PS5 digital edition. I think if you're like, if you're worried about the money side of it, the Series S wins hands down in every category. If the money isn't an issue, then you're getting the PS5 or whichever one you want, PS5 Series X, either way. So that's why I really think the digital edition is kind of a miss. Like we said earlier, like, there are some people that don't care about having CDs, and I get that, but like you just said, like, even just fucking you could buy a pre-owned for $5 of some game, a CD of it if you want, you know, from somebody who bought it a year ago and play it.
Perfect example is on the Xbox, Dark Souls 3 with all the expansions, you're looking at about 70-ish pounds. I was able to pick it off eBay at 18 pounds.
Dang.
All DLC, everything.
Yeah. Yep, and that's that's the difference. So, I agree. If you're that worried about money, and I still say for families, for things like that, like I 120% feel that the Series S is the way to go. Just with everything that is included. If you do the all access pass, if you want to lay away it, whatever you want to call it, I really feel that that's the way to go. Because if you're worried about price. I think, yeah, buying secondhand, buying a pre-owned, whatever. Yeah, you're either getting the PS5 to begin with, or you're getting like the Series S if you're worried about price, because there really aren't. There's a couple exclusives, but yeah, and then just buy a pre-owned fucking PlayStation down the road. I don't know, but I agree. You're gonna get that money back. That's why I said earlier, I don't see that much of a difference between the two consoles. Like it really just feels like they last minute were like, well, fuck, we need to put out a secondary console because Xbox did. I still kind of feel that way about it. Like I know there's a little bit more to it, but I feel like they just had to match Xbox releasing a secondary console, even though they didn't officially announce it until last week, but we all knew it was coming for months and months and months. So even there was the article that showed like somebody went back at Phil Spencer's old videos and podcasts during like the Xbox events, and there was an Xbox S sitting there on his desk behind him that people noticed, and I thought that was hilarious. If you look at like some of those people have screen caps, they're like, hey, look, there's the Xbox S, because they went back and looked to see if it was like anywhere or whatever. They noticed it. But yeah, any other thoughts, concerns about PS5 event or chat? Anybody out there? Anything that we glossed over before we move on?
Yes, something we did gloss over is you both being lovely Americans and not being in Europe that doesn't exist. The release date of the PlayStation 5 being a week later here.
Really? I didn't see that.
Really?
It's coming out on the 19th over here.
I did not see that in any of the articles that were mentioned.
I believe it's the 19th here as well.
No, it's the 12th here.
No.
It's the 12th?
Well, obviously, all of the articles and everything that I read were very American written, so I'm
US,
sorry.
Japan, Canada, Mexico, Australia, New Zealand, and South Korea get it the 12th. Yet I did a bit of maths. So combining all of those countries together, you have a estimated population of 698 million people. Europe has 742 million. That's all I'm gonna say.
He's like,
also, New Zealand, the fuck? London is twice as big as New Zealand.
New Zealand gets a lot of, well, I feel like New Zealand has a decent, I don't know if they have a decent like gaming atmosphere, or maybe a lot of companies there, but New Zealand New Zealand gets a lot of stuff, and I don't know why that is. Nothing against it. Like I have a lot of friends in New Zealand from work that I've worked with, but there's a very large portion of the gaming world that has something to do with New Zealand. I don't know why that is. Does anybody?
Maybe they have money.
I don't know. Maybe.
And you think there's nothing in Europe?
No, I know. That's like I don't know why that is, or one way or the other. No, that's it. I didn't see that anywhere that it doesn't come out till the 19th. Huh? Interesting.
New Zealand is closer to Japan. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've literally got the screenshot here.
Yeah, that's interesting. Wow, I didn't see that anywhere. Well, Sony, yeah, good.
In the Discord.
Yeah.
Wow. Yep, I see it.
Yep, November 12th. Yep, U.S., Japan, Canada, Mexico, Australia, New Zealand, and South Korea. November 19th, rest of the world with an asterisk. Wow.
Yeah, the asterisk was something about distributions from China, supply and demand, blah, blah, blah.
Maybe it has to do with just where more people buy their stuff. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Walmart? I don't know.
Yeah, that's really weird to me, because I feel like, there's... I mean, even if you look at, what is it that's in Germany? Not Gamescom. The big... One of the biggest worldwide gaming events is in Germany, and I'm blanking on the name right now. Is it Gamescom?
Yeah.
I thought that was the other one.
Gamescom has more foot traffic than all of the PAXs put together.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I thought it was, maybe I'm mixing it with it. Yeah. So Gamescom. Yeah. So, but yeah, I knew it was one of the biggest events in the world, and yeah, that's weird. That's weird to me. Huh.
Yeah.
I might have to
So
make a little
I
note.
officially said in my Discord, I'm not talking to anyone for that entire week.
I don't want to hear nothing about PlayStation. I don't want to hear about Miles Morales. I don't want to hear nothing. I'll be nice, you know. You send me the money. I'll buy it for you and ship it to you and probably get it there quicker.
Well, the issue is,
but then it probably still would land at the 19th.
I wouldn't be able to play UK games on it.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yay.
That's weird. That's ridiculous. Huh. Interesting. That's all right. I don't know what to say to that. That's really weird that they're not worldwide releasing it on
the same day.
Yeah, the whole console, like that's Well, as I've always said, Sony is normally the bad guy company of the week in some way, shape, or form. And yeah, well, there we go. We found Sony's bad guy company of the week this week, guys. Cheers. It's like a Where's Waldo event. It's like, how did Sony decide to fuck people over this week? Anyways, speaking of bad guy company of the week, moving on. We'll talk about how it came to light. Why is this not working? Why is my thing not working? There we go. My button for changing the topic wasn't working. This week it did come to light that Razer, which is another one of my favorite companies, very, very big quotations on that right there. I'm not a huge Razer fan at all. Came to light that they had a huge information leak at the end of August. Starting off on August 18th, after a huge server misconfiguration, over 100,000 different gamers' personal information was released, including email, phone number, addresses, the type of what products they ordered, everything. And this was made this was found on the 18th. And no exactly idea when exactly the server reconfiguration happened. Found on the 18th, wasn't fixed until last Wednesday. So that's a thing. So good job, Razer. So if you have bought any Razer things from them, your credit card information is safe from them, but anybody who is on the dark web or anywhere else, and this is 3 weeks is a really long time to have information available on the internet. And they said that they fixed it at whatever time, but I feel like that's, like I said, like that's a really long time to have shit available on the internet. That's a lot of copies that were downloaded by a lot of people. So if you're getting some weird random emails or phone calls or texts or anything like that now, and you've ordered from Razer in the past, not necessarily like month, but probably in the last like 6 months, a year, that's probably why. Haven't released an apology or anything like that. It just happened. It just was one of those things. So, yeah.
From what I read, it really seemed like they didn't take it that seriously because no one's credit card information was released, which is kind of a come on, guys.
Yeah.
Personal information on the internet, bad, all of it, not just credit card information. People can still like fucking hound you without that.
Yeah, it's one step, and then being able to use and look up or all that, you know, even just addresses and all that is huge. And don't get me wrong, like I'm a firm proponent that in this day and age, you can find a lot of things online. And I get that because a lot of people are ignorant and then they're like, oh, my information is leaked online. I'm like, you put that out essentially yourself by saying and doing certain things. But that being said, like for a company to just, it seemed like not care about addresses and things like that and product information and a lot of information that can be used against you if used correctly, even if it's not credit card information, is very, yeah. I'm not a fan of Razer as is, so this just kind of is like, cool, good job, Razer. You do a good job.
I mean, from Razer, it's not something that surprises me. I know it's not good to badmouth companies, but I find their product.
Oh fuck, I do it all the time.
To be somewhat.
You're on my channel. You're fine. You're fine, Uni.
Like I ended up buying a pair of their headphones, and the cups just fell apart in about 7 months.
Yep.
Which, when you know, I am wearing them daily, which is probably more than people are expected to use them. you know, I
when
kind
you're
of wanted something
spending
better, especially for how much they cost.
Yeah, especially
I
when you're spending that
find-
amount of money. Yeah. I've had one piece of Razer equipment, and I will say this, and I've said it before. The only piece of Razer equipment I've ever owned that I do advocate, because I stopped buying them years ago, is actually my Xbox controller that I got, like their version of the Xbox Elite that came out, which is the Razer Wolverine Ultimate. The only thing I advocate from them, and it's better than the Elite. I have, obviously I don't play as much Xbox anymore, but I bought it long before I stopped playing, and went solely PC. It's, if you're looking for like an Elite style controller that is not, that won't break for that price point, that $200 price point, I 100% advocate that. That being said, I will not buy any other Razer products at all. Like, it took a lot out of me to buy that Razer product, okay? Like, and I was pleasantly surprised. But I was on my third Elite controller, and I didn't want to spend another $200 on one. So I was like, fuck, I'll try something else.
But also, as well, like, as much as I want people to, see the light of day, spearhead an attack, yada, 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 you also have to remember, like, Microsoft had this happen, Sony's had this happen, the whole E3 massive cock-up.
Oh, yeah, 110%. Well, yeah, I'm not like witch hunting, and I don't think any of us would witch hunt like Razer for this. It's just something that, definitely happened this week. And yeah, when E3 had this happen, totally not acceptable. It's more, this should not be happening and being treated with disregard. Like, hey, it happened. Like, it's like, oh, whatever. And then let it happen for like 3 weeks. Like, okay, they redid their servers and it was made available to the public for 3 fucking weeks. Like, come on, is nobody in your fucking company going, oh shit, maybe we should take this down? Like, at any point? Like, like, definitely should not be happening. Yeah, but that being said, I mean, we've talked about Nintendo has had this happen with, breaches and security, all that. It's gonna happen. But ideally, companies acknowledge it and make steps to improve it, or do something about it. This, the information that I've seen about this does not show that at all. So yeah, but yeah, no, like Uni said, in this day and age, it happens to a lot of companies because there's a lot of people out there who have no time on their hands but to hack in and release information, or like with E3 where they fuck up and release people's, addresses and all that kind of stuff about going just, but it happens, but it shouldn't happen. And yeah, companies are fucking stupid. Long story short is what I'm saying. So, but yeah, if you get random emails and all that this month, besides the political emails and phone calls that everybody's fucking getting right now, at least be happy about that, Uni. You don't have that shit every day. I wake up every fucking day to like 3 text messages from everybody else because, I'm
have you done the census yet?
Fucking, have you done the census yet? Are you voting for Trump? Are you voting for Biden? Like, I mean, I literally, because I'm fucking no party affiliation, so I get fucking every text message and piece of mail there is out there in the fucking universe.
See, I'm no party affiliation, and I'm usually swayed more by who doesn't piss me off the most.
Who sends you less fucking mail?
So obviously voting's always a very heated thing. I'll be brutally honest, the last 2 votes over here, I didn't vote. I didn't put enough time or effort into finding out what each party stands for, yada yada. So I was like, I can't make an educated vote. An educated choice, so don't feel I should vote just because of mob mentality. And actually ended up losing a moderator because I didn't vote the way she expected me to vote. Wow. So I was just like, you can leave whenever, honey. But no,
it's
I always go by like who pissed me off the least when I did vote, and it was always Labour pissing me off. They're always bombarding me with emails, posts, calls, and I'm like,
I wake up to at least like 3 text messages a day, like from
like 6.
At least, and then like every day I'm like, oh, somebody's calling me, and then my phone goes, was this a spam caller? And I'm like, I don't know, I didn't fucking answer, but I can take a wild fucking guess. But yeah,
They leave a message. If they'll leave a message if it's important.
exactly.
If it rings and I don't know the number, I ain't fucking answering.
I have not answered my phone in like 6 years. All right, for for a random number. If I don't know the number calling me, I do not answer the phone.
Nope.
I have not answered the phone to a random number since caller ID and cell phones have come around. Like, y'all bitches can leave a message or text me. Like that's how that works. And then tell me who you are in the text message, then I'll call you or whatever. Like, yeah, I don't fucking care. Not answering. Anyways, moving right along. So yeah, Razer, bad company of the week, along with Sony being bad company of the week. So yay, moving right along. Xcloud launched yesterday. Well, yesterday as in 9:15 Tuesday, not 9:17 because it's in the wee hours of the morning. Xcloud officially launched, or with their Xbox, Game Pass Ultimate, but I still call it Xcloud. I think it's now just part of Game Pass Ultimate is what they're saying. So it's not its own standalone thing. But official Xcloud launch did launch with over 150 games. It is live. It is out on Android. So if you have iPhone, or Apple devices, you're SOL, because Apple, like we've talked with, their Epic thing and all that, which is why the whole Epic Apple court case and everything is going to be huge and life-changing, and we'll see how that works out. We talk about it every couple weeks when new things happen. Apple did not want to let them have this on the iPhone, and I'll get into that in a second. But also with this launch, before I get into it, EA Play Games, we talked about last week, EA Play Games is going to be part of Game Pass Ultimate moving forward, but those are not live right now on this launch of Xcloud. I think it's just because it's a recent partnership, honestly, in my opinion. I think it's just because they just probably signed this contract and this was going live on the 15th. I just think that EA games weren't ready to be on mobile. That's how I read it when I look at it. But yeah, not on Apple. Apple extended an olive branch saying, oh, hey, we'll allow you to put the games on there, but all of them have to be individually put on the App Store, not your app that allows you to cloud stream it. So yeah. You know what that means? That's because Apple wants individual money and shit from people downloading every individual game and that from the fucking store. Because Apple fucking greedy. I don't know. The xCloud, obviously, I still think if you're playing on mobile, there's a couple videos out there for it. We've talked about it before. Motion control is being integrated in a lot of new games. Really is an awesome side effect of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. A lot of fun. Looks really fucking cool. I don't know how often I personally am going to be laying in bed playing Gears of War, but now I have that potential. So that's a thing. But that being said, about the Apple side of things, what do you guys think? Thoughts, concerns about all of this and the release and all that? I'll start with Took. There we go. I know I gotta mention somebody because you guys just kind of sit there for like 3 minutes and go, which one's gonna talk? So Took, what do you feel?
I know I'm not gonna fucking play it. All my gameplay is here in my office. I have my consoles here. I have my computer here. My phone is for mobile games that I play for like 5 minutes when I wake up first thing in the morning. I'm not gonna sit there and be playing Fortnite on my controller on my phone. I'm not going to be doing that. It's just, and well, fuck Apple, screw Apple, you suck. So
the Apple side of it, yeah, terrible.
It's 100%. No one's surprised, and no one fucking cares. So
yeah. Apple's terrible. We know.
I think it'll be good for like if you go to the doctor and you're waiting for like an hour and you want to play like Fortnite on your phone on your controller. But I think it's cool, but I'm not. It's just sour taste in our mouth from Stadia. That was a piece of shit.
Well, so, Stadia is fucking terrible. We have talked about, I don't know how many times, dude. If you want to talk about something that has been talked down on my web show / podcast from the fucking first episode almost, Stadia is pretty fucking down, and they're like, I have stamped on Stadia left and right almost every time we've talked about it, because there is nothing nothing good I've ever seen about Stadia in any stretch of the imagination, from my hands-on with it at West to everything that they've released. Like, I can't stand it. That being said, like you said, with gamers like you personally won't necessarily be playing it or enjoying it, but I would argue this isn't something that's meant for us, or the three of us. This is not. I don't see xCloud as being something that's marketed towards us as streamers, gamers, or those hardcore more gamers. This is more for on the go, and I think also more marketed towards the overseas markets, something like Japan and things like that, which have a more focus on mobile gaming, which is not a prevalence in the US. I don't know about the UK, but I feel like it's kind of the same, where mobile gaming isn't like a huge thing. Japan and Asian market, though, mobile gaming is huge. So this is partly for them, partly for maybe like younger people, or like you said, if you're on the go, if you're sitting at the doctor's for 2 hours waiting because our healthcare is great, yay America. If you're sitting there at the doctor's for 2 hours, you can sit there and play Gears of War on your save file. That I'm just using Gears of War as an example because it's one of the main titles, a AAA title that's on it. But it's you're able to sit there and just load up your save file that's cloud saved and play on your phone. So I think it's a good system. Am I going to take part in it, or am I going to utilize it? Probably not. I agree 110%. This isn't geared towards me at all. But I can respect it 110%. Judy, you had thoughts, concerns, comments?
On paper, this is a good idea. As far as it goes. Obviously, you're talking about taking it to the doctors to play. Well, I certainly fucking hope you charged it beforehand and you have a good internet connection. True. Because even on the PlayStation 4 with their streaming thing, it's notorious on the PlayStation 4, Wi-Fi sucks. That was my fault for not hard cabling it. So to think like, in this day and age, phone battery is so shit. You'll be probably lucky to get the hour. That's if you're not dropping connection. So unless they finally bring out fully 5G, where now we're all getting radiation and COVID from it, it's going to be literally you'll play it in bed when you wake up or before you go to sleep, and that will be it.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing here is that this is not going to be a primary thing. This is going to be a, you're on the train for 45 minutes going, to work. Because, if I was still back up in Chicago and I was going into, which I may be, and I may get a job in the city or something like that, that's a 45-minute train ride. If I want to sit there and play a game or whatever on my phone, I could do that. And then when I get to work or whatever, I can charge my phone. I agree that these are it's definitely going to be a battery hog type of thing. It has its pros and cons. I think it's a great additional service that has launched. Like I said, this is not for the three of us. This is definitely for either younger or, younger generations type of thing, or, people that are more on the go or overseas markets. That being said, I still think it's a great add-on, even if I'm not going to utilize it. I can appreciate it, I guess is where I'm going with it personally. And like Took said, fuck Apple and them wanting more money off of, the fact that they want every little app to be individually. Yeah, they just want more downloads and more money of the percentage of downloads and all that. Long story short, there's no other way around it. Why else would you be like, no, you can't stream the game through your app or whatever. We want to make it so that way they have to download every individual app. Come on. Let's be honest. Stop it. Stop. I see you. Stop it. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Uni.
I know, they're making me itch.
I'm rubbing my arm. It's so I get around itching. I just rub it.
They taught us to slap them.
I just look over and I see Uni doing one of these. I'm like, nope,
Yeah.
Stop it. I saw that. No. Yeah, no. I don't know what I was saying besides that. I just now I'm thinking about tattoos. You make me want a tattoo so fucking bad with that shit. Like, oh my god. Like, I've been hankering for a tattoo for so long, but I've been broke because of COVID, and I want a fucking tattoo. You're killing me.
I mean,
Same.
They're fucking
it's the one
gorgeous, man.
thing I can be grateful to Microsoft for, because my bonus paid for this.
Nice. I did not have a good enough end to get a decent. Well, actually, no, that's a lie. I had a decent bonus, but that went to rent because I'm out of work. So,
I was lucky. It was my birthday month, and I am still not a full adult. I still live at home.
If it had happened like 2 weeks later, I think I would have been a lot better or a week later, because my birthday stream and all that was that week that, you know, Mixer closed down, and I probably would have had a good birthday stream. I was planning on doing 24 hours and a whole bunch of fun and subathon type of thing. And, you know, then I would have gotten double of that, but no. Fucking Microsoft. Anyways, moving right along. Long story short, stop scratching your arms. Last but not least, obviously, like I said earlier, not as much news this week, so that's why main thing was PlayStation 5. But the end of tonight, obviously a lot of streamer service news happened. First, we'll talk about the Twitch. Before we get into the ads, let's talk about the emotes that they added for Hispanic heritage. As you see there, these were Twitch emotes or channel point modifiers. You guys are familiar with the channel point modifiers that you could do to emotes. So they added the ability to put sombreros and Roomba shakers and guitars onto emotes. Maracas, yeah, whichever one they are technically. All of the above. Yeah. So they added those, and then promptly within a couple hours got rid of them, and then released a statement saying we fucked up. So that was
culturally insensitive.
Yeah. So thoughts. Even before what I say, I'll just let you. Yeah, take it away. Uni. No. Oh, okay, fine. No. You actually no. I want this because you said you're gonna hop in.
So,
I've been having to call everybody out. No, I want this. I want to hear what Took has to say. She is excited. Let's go for it.
I'm Latinx. So this pissed me the fuck off because I was, sharing these Twitch stuff because I'm like, yay, it's Heritage Month. Look, let's go watch all the Heritage people. And then they released those, and I'm like, wow, those pissed me off.
Like,
fuck you. No, it is not Cinco de Mayo. We are not going to go drink a beer. It is not a week where we just go fucking crazy. This is Heritage Month for Hispanics, not just some bullshit. And it was just, I saw them and I'm like, ooh.
It's like somebody watched Three Amigos and decided to make some fucking sub emote modifiers, and
someone freaking Googled what is Hispanic things, and those were the first things that came up, and yeah, no, it's just, and it really pissed me off because the 15th isn't even, these are mostly Mexico centered. That doesn't even start till today. Today was Mexican, Independence Day. It was Guatemala and a bunch of other not Mexico ones that started on the 15th. So it was just infuriating.
Yeah. I agree from what I saw that this is very Mexican stereotype biased. Uni. Yeah, I've been talking a lot. I'll continue. Yeah.
I'm gonna come at this from two different directions.
Don't tease me with a good time.
Slightly three. First of all, people are going to get offended by anything and everything, no matter how you do it. I do agree these are stupid and offensive. But I know there's a very much sort of offended culture on social media, so I feel probably any step they would have taken, someone would have got offended. This was the worst step they could have taken. Yeah. My question or wonder is what could they have done? Obviously with a mixer for Black History Month and Pride, Although, don't know if people know. If people remember the fairy sticker came out in June, I personally found that quite offensive. But hey ho. They did like emotes that were, you know, in proper taste. I feel they probably should have asked someone who was part of the community or gone to members of the community who were like partners, like, what would you guys like to see? Get some actual input, because I feel if you're not part of the community, it's hard to get it right. I mean, it's never going to be 100%, but you can at least be in the right direction.
I agree 100% with what you're saying. Like this, either way, it's somebody is going to be upset. But you touch on the same thing that you know, chat just said and all that. It's like, what could they have done? But I agree. Like, of all the things, like somebody might have been upset either way. I think that this is probably the worst of all of their ideas of things that they could have done. And I think if they had gone to one of, like you said, the partners or something like that in, you know, Hispanic or Latin communities and asked, hey, you know, what would be good representations, things like that, something that we can do. I don't see that they, from this plainly, to me, they didn't do that. There's no way that they went to Latin Hispanic partners or people on their platform and said, hey, is this a good idea? Because I'm pretty sure all of them would have been like, nah, bro.
No.
Nah, this is not a thing.
We would have seen the sombrero and go, no, you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Like if they did say, oh, this is for, you know, Mexican Independence Day.
So yeah, something like that. I could see.
Better.
It definitely looks very biased and very stereotypical. I agree that I don't know what that they should have done, but I mean, there's things, you know, even like they have all those filters that you can put on emotes and things like that. That might have been better. I don't know personally what could be best. And I
flags.
and I 100 and
flags.
Yeah, and I 100% agree. Like
60.
Yeah. There's
flags.
They could have made like free or like flags or something. Like there's a lot of things they could have done. I 110% agree that somebody's gonna get upset no matter what. I agree with what you say, Uni. But like you also said, and like Took said, like this wasn't it. Like this is like one of those that like 99.9% of people are not happy with it. Like this is not like, okay, 50% of the people got a little offended, but other people are like, oh, it's okay. No, this was like, this wasn't it from pretty much everybody. But I agree. Like I personally don't know. Like there's flags, there's other filters. Like they could have made, like you just said, like the 80 different countries flags. You could have had those colors as filters. All 80 of those or whatever to represent your own personal heritage or something like that for it as a filter, you know, things like that. And that's just me talking right now during a show. Okay, so this is me coming up with ideas during a talk show and a podcast that don't take that much time, that are definitely a lot less offensive than what they actually released. Like how much time did they actually spend on this, really?
Even Mixer had, like, for Pride Month, they had all the different flags.
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't quite as many, but they put the effort in to make sure that everyone was represented.
Yeah. It actually looked like there was some time spent on it, and 100% guys out there, Mixer, they definitely failed in a lot of things. We're not saying that.
No.
But, you know, they made their mistakes in this area too. But yeah, this definitely looks like somebody woke up Tuesday morning and said, fuck, we got to put something out for Heritage Month. What can we do? And they watched Three Amigos last night before they fell asleep and fucking thought it was a good idea. Like, I don't know what else to say about it. I really don't. It's... Yeah. It's not a good look. At least they had the wherewithal to, like, before the day was even over. These came out, I think, Tuesday, and before the end of the day, they were gone. Like, it was come and gone so fucking fast. It's not even funny. So at least their PR department is enough on the ball to go, oh shit, we fucked up. Let's do this. Somebody, on their side of things was like, all right, let's cover the, let's do some, what is it? The press. What's the word I'm thinking of? To makes things better. I don't.
Apology.
Like apology.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'll think of it. Anyways, yeah. So that's emotes. Yeah. So Twitch obviously kind of dropping the ball there, and also we'll just move right along in general. So that was the emotes. The other way that Twitch was lovingly in the news this week is we now have ads, which if you guys aren't subbed to me, you probably have gotten them randomly throughout today. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna stay before I open up the floor. This is generally received as not good. This is not what anybody wants on the creator side of things. Nobody likes this idea. Nobody that I've seen thinks this is a beneficial thing to them in any way, shape, or form. And this is very much all for Twitch and ruins the viewer experience. And I will go more in depth later, but I will open up the floor. And since we started with Took last time, because she was very adamant, Uni, what are your first opinions on this new mid-roll ad? Goodness.
So I feel forced ads. It's kind of like a kick in the dick, especially if you're one of those people who plays like battle royale games or any game. It can take away a lot of the experience because obviously from battle royale you could be close to winning a match, suddenly forced ad. Story game could be me playing The Walking Dead and suddenly it's an ad, you come back and I'm in tears and you have no idea why.
I have no idea. Yeah, because you saw it in a little tiny square in the corner and you're like, wait,
and
something.
It's like, no joke, this isn't like a 30-second ad. This is a 3-minute fucking ad. That they
That's
are
a long ad.
It is. And to be brutally honest, like, I'm gonna be honest, it made me put ad blocker on, which now has officially fucked the streamer because you wouldn't get like we've called them in my stream paid P breaks. Or at like the start of stream you don't get that ad either. So it's causing more damage having them than it was not having them. I know there has apparently been a workaround. Some people have been tweeting out about like running an ad every hour.
Yeah, and I did that. Like I knew the metrics, and I did that either way, every half an hour. So now I'll do that hour, and I put in my chat like in between, especially with the games that I play. I've made a timer for 55 minutes so that way in case I forget. So every hour I'll take like, I'll put like the be right back, or I'll take a pause and be like here. So that way I make sure I run that 3 minutes, and it literally says, hey, I'm making sure nothing is going on in chat or in the game or anything. You're not missing anything, etc. So it is a workaround. But as I'm sure you're about to say, it's bullshit, having to do that.
It is. And it's hard to remember, like...
Yeah. I had to set a timer on my phone.
Like,
I'm
exactly,
like...
and we shouldn't have to do that.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, we'll see if you can get like a bot to automate it. I'm like, but then that could still fuck me over. Yeah,
because I used to have that. And it's like the bot could like automate, but then it's like it's automating the ad the same that the mid ad breaks are, because I would do that and it's like, okay, so then it could still pop during a clutch moment. So like when you're playing something like Valorant that you have downtime, or like BRs and things like that, like it's not as bad, because if you manage it well, you can take those like a minute 30 seconds, those 3 minutes, to kill an hour of breaks. And that's what I've been doing, because this has only been around for 2 days. So once every hour, I make sure I have the timer going on my phone. I see, hey, I'm down to 10 minutes. I just finished this match. I'm going to pop the ad up and let it go and, force that ad. But yeah, it's, you know, and like you said, like there's the paid things, but also they came out and said that these are going to benefit the creator more. And what does more mean? Because we're only making 0.002 cents per fucking ad view. So what? Now we're making 0.003? Like, this is not for fucking us at all. Like, I mean, and that's a whole nother conversation. Don't get me wrong. Like, ad pay is a whole nother conversation that we get screwed on. But this is all for fucking Twitch making money. There is, don't construe it, guys. This is in no way, even though their press release says this is going to benefit creators more. This is not. We make per 1,000 views. I think we make, or per 1,000 views, the ad maybe make 10 cents or something. I don't fucking remember the metrics.
Something like that.
Either way, it's bullshit. Like,
so
I don't care to remember them.
Ads, I've literally just pulled my Channelytics. So far from ads, for this period, I've made $8.
Hey, there you go.
Now I gotta go look. Hold on.
The most I have made has probably been like 11, and that was like the first month.
Yeah. I think the most I've made is still under $10, like from the first couple months. Like, I don't think I've broken $10 in ad rev.
Ooh, a whole $1.11.
Yeah, killing it.
Woo!
And that's the thing. Like, this is not for us. And I get 100%. Like, and that's a whole, like, we can get on that more. That definitely the ads do not benefit us, but just either way, the takeaway, not only does it kill, like, if anything, BR and FPS streamers kind of have an advantage here where they could work the system. Like you said, there are workarounds, and that's just, at least for as it stands right now, there are ways for us to work around it. Do I endorse them? No. I was talking to Undercard last night. I'm like, this is what I'm doing. Like you just said, I'm forcing a 3-minute ad in between matches. I have a chat command set up with a stream deck saying, hey, you guys aren't missing anything, so if somebody's in chat. And I do kind of like that. I hesitantly like it because it also gets rid of my pre-roll ads, because I already did that. So it was something I already kind of did, and I just modified it. I hate pre-roll ads of 30 seconds because they kill discoverability. Because I know when I go around and try and find people, and having to watch a 30-second ad every time I go into a new stream drives me fucking nuts. So I did this intentionally either way. I had a button I would hit in between matches. That being said, if you look at, even take this stream, for instance. So we're on podcast right now, or a music stream, or ASMR stream. Any of those, they're killed by this. Because if you're watching ASMR stream and you're listening to like an ASMR type of thing, which obviously total different sound profile, and then randomly a fucking 3-minute ad pops up talking about KFC in the middle of it, super fucking loud, like, it just kill, like, it's even worse for them. Like music, whatever, you're listening, you're vibing out, you're doing your thing, and then a fucking
falling asleep,
whatever, and then a fucking huge ad for Roto-Rooter pops in. I don't fucking know, like, I don't want to see that shit. And I saw, like, there's already all the memes, but somebody actually shared today during the PS5 conference. I saw somebody was watching the reveal for the Demon Souls, and actually during, I think it was Demon Souls. It was during one of them. They actually. Oh, it was Harry Potter. It was Harry Potter.
Yeah,
it was the joking one that I saw was that. No, but legit, like, the actual clip was a guy got an Amazon Prime ad during the Harry Potter like thing. So he's sitting there watching the PlayStation 5 thing, and he got a pop-up Amazon Prime ad during the Harry Potter, like, trying to watch it, that whole press release. Like, what the fuck? Like, come on. And not even to mention, if you do sponsored streams or anything, if you have sponsors as a content creator, these are getting forced on you, and there's no control over what ads are being shown. So you could technically be violating fucking contracts because fucking ads are getting shown that are, fucking counters or fucking rivals to your the sponsors that you have. I don't know. Somebody else talk. I'm very I'm very against it.
Still a little grumpy about it.
Like, I don't know, I get like, I have a workaround, and I get that, and I try to make myself, but that
But
it
you
should
shouldn't
not
have
be
to
a
have
thing.
A fucking workaround.
Yeah, I should.
Shouldn't
Yeah,
exist.
you know what? You give me more money to push ads, I'd be okay with it. You know what? I would make sure that I took that time either way, and I get it. But this has no benefit to me either in any stretch of the imagination. This is just ruining not only my discoverability, it's ruining my viewer base. It's ruining because the fucking people who have, you know, all the subs and shit, the money they make off of, but the fucking shrouds and summits and fucking all those people who have hundreds of thousands, or, you know, thousands of subs, you know, I think Shroud is like 50,000 fucking subs on Twitch. Those people are still going to watch after a minute, 2 minute, 3 minute ad if they're not subbed. If they are, they're not seeing it. But even if they're not subbed, those people are still going to watch. Smaller people, like us, all of us, you know, I'm just saying smaller in reference to not being a summit, not being a Shroud, that could lose a lot of potential viewers. It sucks for creators, you know? Just, I don't see, there's no way this is positive. Anybody who is not a top 30 streamer on Twitch, this affects negatively. In every stretch of the imagination.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Gauntlet thrown. Either way, it's fucking bullshit. Long story short. I had something else to say. I don't know. I think I was gonna respond to something you guys said, but then I went off on a tangent and then I forgot. So
that sounds about right.
Yeah. I have been good tonight, Took, okay? I have not gone off on many tangents, all right?
That's true.
Uni, normally I go off on like 17 tangents a fucking web show.
He does.
And I rant, and I'm very well known for it, and it's great, and I just embrace it. It happens. I go off on tangents. I've been good tonight. I have not tangented. I have not... is that a word? Can we make that a word? Tangented?
Sure.
The act of going off on a tangent? There we go. That's our thing. I'm submitting that into dictionary.com. I have not tangented much tonight.
Look, if they've added irregardless to the dictionary,
we can make it. We can make it happen, dude. Let's do it. I'm gonna clip it. We're gonna make it a word. I have not gone off on a tangent tonight. I have not tangented. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Now, that being said, like, there definitely are workarounds, but this isn't it, Twitch. We all know that this is all for you guys to make more money. And saying... I think the part that pisses me off the most is that they also threw into their tweet saying this is going to benefit creators. I think that's what that pisses me off. That these ads are going to, you know, give more back to creators. And yeah, unless they're...
money.
Yeah, exactly. And I have not seen anything showing up in my inbox or anything like that saying I'm getting more money off of these new ads. So I don't know. And that being said, like, obviously Twitch makes their money this way, but this is, you know, we'll get into in a second with like Facebook and that, but this is one of those things. Like, Amazon already has a lot of money, obviously trying to make more. But this opens up a lot of room for other streaming platforms. I mean, YouTube, we already saw during a couple of their events, like, their pre-rolls are less than 10 seconds for live streams. Like, that's huge. And even, like, if you have, like, the videos and all that, creators make a lot more money off of ads that actually run on YouTube. So... Twitch, they're gonna have to, in my opinion, they're gonna have to start nutting up soon. And I've said that back in the Mixer days before Mixer even shut down. It's not a good look. I think that they're getting very money hungry, the more that I see. And I was saying that before, but yeah. But I don't know. Anyways, somebody say something. Respond before I go off on another tangent.
We all completely agree with you.
Yeah.
Grumpy,
It's
angry,
bullshit. It's
pissed off.
bullshit.
More ads.
Yeah.
I hate ads on the TV. I hate ads that have nothing to do with the content you're actually fucking watching. I can't tell you how many times I've been on Spotify. And they're like, "Oh, listen to this rap album." Why? I'm not going to.
Yeah. Let me. Okay. If I have to do ads, okay. Let me get a little bit more money for it. Give me a thing in my stream and all that other kind of stuff where I can pick a genre of ads or something like that. You know, all of these things could relate to the actual viewer audience or even things like that. Or make ads related to, you know, that style of game. Just like you have categories, which I think is very awesome on Twitch. One of the things that I love about it is being able to put, you know, not just a category, but like tags and things like that. Make ads play off of certain tabs, you know, make those tags related to the certain type of ads. Because right now, all it is the biggest fucking money maker or whatever, the person paying the most to Twitch, they're the ad that is shown, hence Amazon Prime being shown because they own the motherfucker. Like, you know,
to go on that same tangent, like I've been getting ads because I was asking the community, like, if you get one,
let
tell
me
me
know
what it is because I'm actually curious. We've been getting ads for Burberry, which if you don't know is a fashion label. Most of my viewership are old straight white men and lesbians. You are really going for the wrong
you're really
here, honey.
exactly. Like, let me
I'll shop it up, Burberry.
Yeah.
Also, Burberry over here is what chavs wear. Chavs are like the British version of like stereotypical rednecks.
Oh my god.
Awesome.
So
definitely the wrong group there. Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
like
you're in the wrong place here, honey.
Yeah, and that's what I said. Like, let us, you know, you want to make this work. You want to find a compromise and get us, because I could get the business side of it, which is Amazon makes a shit ton of money off of ads. People weren't pre-rolling ads, or they had the pre-roll, but then they weren't running ads after that. So they were looking at these high-dollar streams with hundreds of viewers, and they only were getting money off of that 1 15, 30-second ad at the beginning. So they were like, hey, let's do something because nobody's running midstream ads. I kind of get that from the business side of things, but this isn't it. You want to make it work, let us pick or like facilitate off of things. Like, you know how
an incentive.
Yeah, exactly, an incentive. This that you want. Okay, so like YouTube or Facebook even and all these other things say, did this ad relate to you, or things like that. Give that to the streamer side of things, where it's like, hey, here's some ads, here's some companies that we have ads from. Check or whatever which ones you want to see it. And if you don't check any, then run whatever you want. But give us the option to be like, nah, I don't want a Burberry ad run because it doesn't relate to the game, doesn't relate to whatever, or at least a genre. If Burberry decides to make a gaming ad, then more power to them, because fucking Arby's makes some great gaming fucking ads.
Yes, they do.
And yeah, I wouldn't like, now I'll check like Arby's, and they make some great gaming ads. But you know, if a company did that, whatever, and it falls under the gaming category, but you know, have it fit your brand, have it fit that. And then not only will, I think, content creators be more acceptable of said ads, but then they will be more accepted of also running them during their Be Right Back, during their pee breaks, during etc., making sure that they push those ads. You know, this isn't it. This is not the way. There's a lot of different ways that this could have been rolled out, and this isn't it. And I think if they try to keep forcing this kind of thing, don't get me wrong, you know, I still, you know, I have my Facebook partnership just because I make sure that I get the hours over there, because we all remember the partnership deal. But things like, you know, Facebook, YouTube, like there's a lot of things that they're making moves, and Twitch is just scooting right along at the same level that they always have. And I'm not saying one way or the other. I'm just stating facts of at some point, either changes are going to have to be made or something's going to happen. That's how I see the situation, because there's a lot of positives being made in other sides of the internet, and it's just you know, Twitch wise, like just a lot of just stagnant side of things, and very like this very money hungry side of things. unfortunately. That's just how I see it, how I read it. It is what it is. Not advocating one or the other. I'm just reading it as how it's presented to all of us. So, but speaking of other platforms, Facebook, the last kind of thing on this whole streaming kind of thing, if you guys didn't see, Facebook actually signed, well, officially they signed and they released the whole deal this week, Monday, that we can now, or streamers, we as in content creators, can play music on our streams, which is
Let me
huge.
also correct you just for a second. So only to partners.
Correct.
Only the partners,
Correct.
yes.
Correct. So content creators, partners, they are trying to roll it out to the rest of the program and all that as well. But the contract right now does relate only to Facebook gaming partners. And I actually reached out on my end for a little bit more clarification. The actual blog post is listed from their Facebook gaming kind of thing. The blog post is listed in the Discord there for you guys if you want to read it yourself. But my understanding is that we can play as content creators on our side any type of music. And then because they have a lot of deals with a lot of different producers or a lot of different production companies. They said that they can't say what music you can't play because of contracts. But if you do play a song or something like that that is not covered, which they said that they have contracts with most, they said that if it does happen where you play a song that is not covered for whatever reason that would violate a DMCA, I think it gets muted, and you will get an email saying, hey, this song that you played at this point in time on your VOD got muted because it wasn't covered.
Which, can I say, is fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what they need to do is either provide you guys with a list of artists that you can play,
mm-hmm.
or based on genre, create playlists that you
mm-hmm.
guys can play.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you guys just go willy-nilly. Because let's say my music taste relatively eclectic. It goes from like Paramore to like Lily Allen to Slipknot to whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If I end up having my playlist going,
mm-hmm.
I could probably get a DMC strike on like 20 songs.
Yeah. No, I agree, because
like my channel being completely shut down.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm the same way. Like, even if it gets muted, but my music taste is all over the place so much that, yeah, I may avoid that specific song next stream, but fuck, the next stream I'm listening to fucking Prince and 80s music instead of the ska that I was listening to the stream before, instead of the pop punk that, like, I'm all over the fuck. No, I 100%. That's why I personally, I don't have anything that I can say whether NDA or not. Like, I reached out for more information, even, you know, so I don't even know whether under NDA or not. Like, I'm waiting for more information, because I said, like, they do have, and they have released, if you are part of like the Level Up program, like their other program, they do have, or used to have, their own in-house kind of DMCA friendly music, kind of like we have like a Pretzel Rocks or whatever, like, you know, whatever you use for DMCA friendly, like they had that you could play. I assumed that that's what this was. That's why I'm looking for more information. Like, I assumed that there would be like an in-house player of, hey, all of this is good. Like, give me a Spotify or something like that where it's just like, hey, you want to listen to pop punk and you're good to go. No, I that was exactly what you just said, was exactly my own first interpretations of it, and I 110% agree with you, Uni, because I'm just like, I feel like I probably will get a strike every time I stream, because I don't know, because they wouldn't say like who, because they're like they couldn't say who they don't, for whatever reasons, with the contract that they signed on their, it says on their blog post, for whatever reasons they can't say what music wasn't covered or what production covered, which is weird. But they said that they would let you know afterwards. But if you, fuck, like,
That's how that works.
yeah, like I listen to so much different shit every fucking day. Like, I go from listening to fucking musicals to fucking punk to like it's all over the place. Like I have no, I don't in 3 streams I would definitely rack up 3 different strikes. Hands down. Like and I agree. It's just like I need something a little more concrete of what I can listen to. And I reached out and said the same thing. But that being said, I do think that this is the type of move that, and I've talked about it before, that as streaming platforms need to be making, because the DMCA, as it is right now, the law of the DMCA is bullshit, because it was written back and went into legislation back in like 2008 or so, which is a totally different internet environment than what we have now. And it needs to be rewritten. It needs to be redone. So the streaming platforms, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, etc., need to start making these efforts to make it creator friendly, in my opinion, because and that's it's going to benefit them as well, because creators will want to go there, just like you see with Facebook trying to do these things. Like I've said before, DMCA needs a rework all the way around, because it doesn't apply to this current era. Hopefully we get that in the near future, and if these types of things are the stepping stones there, I am all for it. Obviously they're not perfect. I 100% advocate that, but if these are stepping stones, I advocate them. But I don't know. Took?
No, I agree. I know Nofa's been doing some streaming because he's also a partner over on Facebook. And I have a copyright-free song that apparently you have to say that, like, give attribution to the song. We did that, and he still gets striked every single time he plays the song. So he can't even do his stream intro anymore.
Wow.
So, or it mutes him. So he can't even do that when he does it on Facebook. So I think the laws do really need to change, because music for every one of us is, we listen to different things. We have a large variety of music. We would like to play that music while we play games, because we've always played music while we play games since forever. So it's just, it needs to change. Something needs to change. I can't listen to the same list of copyright-free music all the time. I don't like EDM music. Finding a good rock music one is a pain in the ass. So it's just,
because anything halfway decent, they're going to go to a record label and start making money themselves. And I'm all for that from bands. I want you to go make your money. But if you're halfway decent, you're not on a royalty-free or a DMCA-friendly playlist. Let's be honest, And that's not at the artist. That is at the production companies, which have a hard on because they're not making as much money, and they're trying to come after us, which I would argue, and I've said this before, if somebody likes your song and they're playing it during a stream and you say you like this song and you have a big following, or even just a small following, it's like, hey, what is this song? And you tell them what it is, that's getting just as much traction as playing it on the fucking radio, if not more. Like,
so I have a community member who actually is a singer, and how it was told to me was, because obviously a lot of us play music through Spotify, and artists are paid per click. So obviously, say if I was streaming to like 1,000 people, and I
just sounds miserable, doesn't it?
Like a Paramore song, that song is now getting like 999 less clicks than it would.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much a single click is worth, but money's money.
Yeah. No, and I get that. Yeah.
I do understand that. Also, took with having issues finding decent playlists that aren't EDM. Typed in chat, check them out. I'm currently listening to their like neon synthwave, and it does have actual or like singing. It's not just fucking EDM, so it's a nice change. Obviously, I'm already sick of this playlist because it's all I've been listening to, but I don't go insane.
Hey,
so
I'm just saying, if you have Go XLR or anything else as a streamer and you want to listen to your own music, I made a YouTube video that's very simple to follow, and we can all do it. But that doesn't. It's a workaround. It's a workaround. But hey, yeah, go watch my YouTube. Self plug. Insert here. No, but that all be. It doesn't negate the overarching issue of all. Like all of us are having to create workarounds to this because we're all in a shitty spot. It doesn't. Creating a workaround, just like with the Twitch thing, the core thing with ads, creating a workaround doesn't mean that the problem is any less. Yeah, I could run ads once, 3 minutes an hour and make sure that I do it. Yeah, I could channel my music to a separate channel and make sure that what I'm listening to is not what the stream's listening to. But that doesn't solve the problem. It puts a tiny little Band-Aid over what is an issue that needs to be resolved and needs to, and it's going to take, Facebook obviously made this partnership, which is a good step. Obviously still needs some work. I'm hoping for more information, maybe by next week, in the next couple of days, whatever. I even reached out, and I'm hoping for more information. I hope that it works out, but we need those companies that have money, the Twitch, the Facebooks, the YouTubes, that are these content creator focused companies moving forward. It's going to come down to legislation being passed, just like we have the Apple Epic thing going on right now. We're going to have to, music industry and all that is different than it was. And 100%, like Uni just said, like the artist side of things, clicks matter. And I get that, but maybe this change, we need to work towards something where this is a whole different environment where one single radio play or one single click doesn't mean the same thing anymore.
What would be great, and I don't even know how this would be implemented, but obviously trying to integrate like Spotify into Twitch so your click counts for as many viewers you have in your channel.
Exactly, something like that. Like there's a lot of different ways that something could be worked out, and I think that's what needs to happen. Like I don't know what the right answer is, but like you just said, like a Spotify integrations, like different things, like that's what needs to be getting worked on here. Is that these things need to change in some way, shape, or form, because nobody is happy listening to the DMCA friendly stuff. Nobody is. That's why it's such a big market having DMCA friendly music. Like it needs to change. The law needs to change. I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's a lot of it, and that's what we talked last month about Twitch Sings and all. And actually even one of my mods was mentioning how he has a friend that on Facebook Live, it's funny, and we talked about Twitch Sings closing down at the end of this year. I guess Facebook is having the same thing, and I haven't seen anything about it. I tried looking it up but didn't see it, but I'm curious what laws are changing that we don't know about, or I didn't see it. What's wrapping up at the end of these laws, or what's about to change? Because I guess Facebook Live is also possibly cutting down, or you're not even going to be able to do covers of songs. And that was just now, like his buddy just does this week, and then that with the announcement of Twitch Sings having to shut down by the end of this year, like I'm curious.
Something's going on.
Yeah, like I'm very curious what's going on. I tried to do a little bit of research, but I'll do it more this week, and I found this out like Monday, and my weekdays are more stream and editing, and I do more stuff on weekends. I'm very curious what laws or anything are ending, contracts or laws are ending by the end of this year that all these companies are having to do that. Because the Twitch Sings was definitely something I was like, okay, their contract is ending up. But the fact that also Facebook is having to also limit that and get rid of musicians and all that doing any covers or anything, that makes me go, Not to launch us into
That's
conspiracy
a huge market over there.
Yeah, not to launch us into conspiracy theory podcast, but makes me go, And yeah, something I'm going to be pursuing on my off time, because I like to know the answers of things when people ask me. So I don't like not knowing something. So that's just me. Anyways, all of that being said, chat. I think any other topics or comments about all this Twitch / Facebook / all the stuff we just talked about for you two? Nope.
I think we covered everything.
Good.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Did you just took the thing on your mic, or did I just never notice it before?
Oh, I
It looks
changed
like a
it.
Jack Skeleton. Okay, yeah, it looks like a Jack
This is a
Skeleton
Jack
thing.
Skeleton. I have a
Okay.
bunch of these little Tsum things.
Okay.
I've got like Thor, Iron Man,
I was saying,
Black
I don't think
Widow.
I've
I changed it.
Okay. Now I don't
changed
feel
it
so
out.
bad. I'm like, I don't think I've ever noticed like a Jack Skeleton thing on it before. So, all right, cool. Now I don't feel so
It
bad.
was Thor for a while, then it was Spider-Man, and spooky season is upon us. So
Oh yeah,
now it's Jack.
exactly. Gotta do spooky season. Chat. I'm gonna check Discord, of course, because I closed it because I'm an idiot on my other PC. That all being said, make sure I don't see anything live Q&A. Chat, all you guys out there, love, appreciate all you guys. If you have any questions about some of the things that we covered, speak now, forever hold your peace. I'm gonna go into closing ceremonies here as we end up the recording. And then we can cover anything that you guys ask about the news topics that we covered this week. But of course, leading off, I am, of course, Kdog57. You can find me on Kdog57 here on Twitch, and Kdog57 Gaming pretty much everywhere else. And that might be changing in the next 2 weeks, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Kdog57 Gaming on everything. Podcast-wise, it's going to be listed under Kdog57 Gaming as well, which should be launching on Spotify this week as well, and I'll have the links up there as well. So yay, all the podcast stuff is going live. That being said, going right around, oh, and I always say 11 p.m. for me, but I'm changing on my schedule. But hey, I'll be live at 11. If you see me live earlier, it's because I'm changing up my schedule. I'm trying to do 8 o'clock Eastern. I'm trying to not be as much of a late night person, and adjusting my schedule. So, but yeah, Mondays through Fridays, 11 p.m. and most likely earlier. Get in the Discord, then you'll know. Either way, moving right along, going around the room. Fool Took, where can everybody find you, and when can they find you?
Well, you can find me on Twitch, of course, Twitter, Instagram. It's the Full Took everywhere. It's just the Full Took. Don't ever call me Fool. Call me Took. I had someone call me Fool. I'm like, no, don't
That's
call
just
me
weird. Why would you call somebody
That's
a fool?
just weird.
Like
Oh, you
of the
like,
of the
you
way to
fool?
yeah
No.
yeah no like
No, it's Took. It's
Yeah,
Took or
yeah.
Tookie.
yeah
Not
Tookie.
that. I am live 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Mountain Time every day, generally, but Monday and Wednesdays, except for special days like this.
Mm-hmm.
I play variety games. I play Sims. I play Fall Guys. I play Spellcaster. I play whatever the heck I want. So.
Mhm. Cool. And Uni, when can everybody find you, and where?
You guys can find me obviously on Twitch, Unicorn Gaming. Social medias are Unicorn Gaming UK because some inactive bastards from 2019 took everything.
Yep.
I hope
Mhm.
they lost a foot or something. You can find me every single day apart from Sunday. Sunday's a maybe day.
Mhm.
Noon UK time, so that's like what, 7 a.m. Eastern. Till question mark.
So
And
I like that.
like Took, I play whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah, we're all very variety people, so it can change every stream. Very, very much so. So I don't see anything from chat, and while we were doing that, so that being said, we will just move right along and end the official recording. Thank you, honestly, for both. Of course, Uni, I appreciate you being here. I know you took a nap kind of beforehand, but I appreciate you getting up in the wee hours of the morning to hang out with us. And Took, always a pleasure. Thank you for co-hosting. And yeah, that's about it. Any other closing remarks?
Spay and neuter your pets.
There we go. There we go. Thanks, Bob. Appreciate you, Bob. All right. I'm going to be into the recording. I always say thank you, everybody out there. Love you a long time. Bye, YouTube. Bye, Spotify / wherever you're listening on. And I'll see you guys next week, which is Drake. Who do I have next week? I should pay more attention. Who the fuck do I have next week on the show? I think it's Drake. I think I have the Lost Drake next week on the show. Am I right? Yes, I'm right. Lost Drake, and I think it's going to be with JoJo as co-host. So I will see you guys next week, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, Wednesday night, and we'll have a good show then. So thank you, everybody. Everybody wave. Say goodbye to YouTube. Bye, YouTube / wherever, yada, yada, yada. And